Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of the It's Obvious podcast. My name's Garrett Drake. I'm joined alongside Jacob Alka. This is episode 70. Jacob, how you feeling?
I'm feeling great. Had a good week. How about you?
I had a pretty solid week myself. You know, staying busy as always, but
of course.
It was successful to say the least.
You wouldn't be Mr. Garrett Drake without the busy week.
Right, so. Exactly. It's currently, my life is just busyness. A lot of busy work. A lot of busy work that's taking me places very slowly but surely. But most of all, it's good to be back at this table, Jacob. I missed you to bits. I don't think I saw you at all this week. I saw you Tuesday night.
Yes.
We played some Destiny. That was great.
Yes.
You unleashed your heavy metal front man. That lies within you.
Yeah, apparently.
Yeah, it was pretty inspirational. I always thought it'd be cool to be a front man of any band, which I'm not. But
I don't know what got into me. I just had to let it out.
Yeah, you know, sometimes the rage builds up, especially if you're a patient, reserved person. But every now and then something sends you over the edge, and you just gotta let it loose.
You're so right.
Or unleash the beast, I should say. Yeah. So I'm glad you got that out, Jacob. We're joined alongside Oliver Queen. Excuse me, not Oliver Queen. Arrow. Sorry.
Who?
The Green Arrow. Yeah, Oliver Queen has nothing to do with the Green Arrow, which is funny. I say that. I feel like in the show, literally everyone knows he's the Green Arrow. Why does he even wear the costume anymore?
I don't know.
He might as well just run out into the streets with his normal clothes and his bow and arrow at this point, because so many people know he's the Arrow.
10 people know who Oliver Queen is.
Yeah, you got to think at least one of those people might accidentally let it slip just in conversation, because they're so used to just addressing Oliver or the Green Arrow as being Oliver. They may be like, yeah, me and Oliver were, running the streets last night shooting arrows. And excuse me, what? What does Oliver Queen have to do with a bow and arrow? But I figured he'd be a good guest this week. Last week it was the scientist Winston. You guys may know who he is from Overwatch. He's a great friend of ours, and he didn't really add much to the conversation, but we enjoyed his presence. But Oliver Queen, Green Arrow himself, is a good guest in the sense that the CW shows, Green Arrow, Flash, Supergirl, Legends of Tomorrow, are all starting again very soon. It's going to be...
They'll be starting the day this comes up.
Really?
Yeah, I think Monday's Supergirl.
Is it? That's awesome. See, I'm not gonna watch season 1 of Supergirl. I don't think. I might watch like a recap or something.
I'm not gonna watch it.
I feel like season 2 might open with a recap for people that have been watching the other shows that haven't watched Supergirl. I bet there'll be a solid recap. But I'm totally gonna do my best to watch all of them, because in the past I've watched all of with the exception of the Arrow. This is so funny. I didn't watch last year's Arrow finale. I didn't watch last year's Flash finale. Now, I know exactly what happens in both, because I've seen reviews that include clips of the episodes and discussions and blah, 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 blah. So I know exactly what happens in the storyline. Mm-hmm. I just got so burnt out on all the shows. I think because...
It's a huge problem for those shows.
Yeah, I think this is obvious. Everyone knows this. The shows just... I think they have 22 or 3 episodes a season, which on paper, you're like, oh, that's not too bad. But when it goes on for weeks and weeks, and when they take breaks in between the seasons, where they took like
several 3 or 4
off.
breaks last year.
Oh my gosh, dude! I felt like ridiculous. I was watching the season 2 of Flash and season 4 of Arrow for 2 years. It just drug on forever, and it makes it worse because Arrow's previous season was my least favorite. I think season 3 was the point where I was like, I don't know how I feel about this anymore. Then season 4, I was like, this is dumb.
I hated season 4.
I didn't like it at all.
I hated season 4 Arrow, and I didn't really like season... Is it 2 of Flash, or is it 3?
It was 2.
Yeah.
I enjoyed season 2. I think the Flash, out of all the... granted, Flash is only in its 2nd season, but so far it's impressed me the most out of all the shows.
I've always liked Arrow the most, but particularly the first 2 seasons.
Right. I was hooked on season 1 of Arrow. I was like, man, this is so cool. And obviously the shows bring the cheese. They're low budget and stuff, but it was good enough to the point where I was like, man, I really enjoyed this. This is an awesome superhero show.
Yeah, I mean, there's CW superhero shows. That's a cool thing. It's cool that we live in a time where we get those kind of shows. Totally.
And they're all interconnected. And season 1 of Flash I loved as well. I even loved season 2 of Arrow, and going into 3, that's why I was underwhelmed. And I look forward to, the flow of the Flashpoint and stuff in season 3 of Flash, Kid Flash. And I think Barry's dad is playing the role of, what's his name? Jay Garrick this time around. Like the true Jay Garrick, which is cool. And obviously they're going to have a bunch of crossovers.
Yeah, that's who he was at the end of, spoilers, season 2 of Flash.
Yeah, after didn't Barry go back and save his mom? He's like, screw this, I'm just going to go save her. That's what changed everything. Okay, yeah, that's really exciting. I'm pumped to watch all these shows. I'm going to do my best to keep up with them all. I think you said it was Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday?
Yeah.
That's
Monday,
amazing.
Supergirl, Tuesday, Flash, Wednesday, Arrow, Thursday, Legends of Tomorrow.
That's so cool, but stressful at the same time.
We'll just record them all, and you can go back to them when you want to.
Well, that's what's great about the CW app. Do you use the app?
No.
Dude, I don't record anything. The app is the best way to watch all the shows, because they're all in one place. It's like Arrow episodes, Flash episodes, Legends Tomorrow, now Supergirl. You just boom, 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 knock them out.
Oh, well.
And I got pretty behind last season on all of them because I can't remember. I was either watching other shows or I just wasn't in the mood to watch anything when I was going to bed, which is when I normally watch my shows. And I fell behind by like 4 or 5 episodes on each show, and it took me forever. I think that's why I got burnt out, because by the time they got to the end, I was still like 6 behind, and by the time I got to the episode right before the finale, it's like I just can't do it anymore.
Here's the problem I have with the app, though. You have to watch the commercials, and
that's
they
true.
Are so long.
That's
on
true.
That app. They take like 5 minutes, literally. So if I just record it, I can just skip through all that crap.
That's a great point. You know what I also forgot about considering the ads is that it's always the same 1 or 2 ads for weeks. I think I saw it was either Stride or I can't remember, five gum or something. I saw the same commercial for like 3 weeks straight, just over. And sometimes it won't just be like, every time there's a commercial break, you'll see that commercial. It'd be the commercial, then the commercial again, then one more time, and then the show would start.
Mm-hmm.
It was ridiculous, but
it's a little irritating.
It is, yeah. But that being said, Jacob and I know a few fans of the community, Sam Harris being one of them, big fan of The Flash. We're excited for the CW shows to return. Like I said, I'm going to do my best to keep up with them. So that's why the Green Arrow is our guest today, and we'll see if he can protect us from any potential enemies that may attack us during the episode. Yeah. But other than that, Jacob, tell me about your week. You said it was a good week.
Yeah, my arm feels much better this week.
Really?
So that's one good thing.
Okay.
Was able to do most of my workouts. Still, when I do shoulder workouts, I can do regular like press motions for shoulders, but I can't like do like rear shoulders or like raise my arms up like this without getting a little tender. So I kind of refrain from those kind of movements. But overall, I'm feeling much better. So that's a great thing.
That is great, Jacob. Speaking of exercising, I wanted to bring this up real quick before I forget.
Yes, please do.
My mom asked me, hey, I was picking up some stuff for Christmas for your sister. Is there anything specific you might want this year? I was like, well, thank you for asking, Mother, because there's 2 things specifically I'd like that I think would improve my health, or at least aid my health. One of the things being a stand-up desk that's adjustable, because what I do for a living is, I'm sure you can relate, is sit on my ass and edit videos all day. It's basically what I do. Between this YouTube channel and work and even soon to be school, all I'll be doing is just sitting editing videos. And I know stand-up desks are quite popular, especially these days. And there's one specific one I want that is very easy to bring up and down that I think would be beneficial. I might even start playing games standing up, because the chair I use is, I call it my cozy chair, but in reality, it's not my cozy chair. When I'm playing a game, I feel like I can just play it better sitting in that position. But after an hour, I need back surgery because my back hurts so bad.
You gotta get your back fixed.
I know. I don't know what it is.
You need to go get it looked at for sure.
I do. I've been saying, that's what's funny. I've been saying that for years. Like, I need to go to a chiropractor or a physical therapist or something. But
you need to get some x-rays of your spine.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, that's the thing. I don't have back problems to the point where I can't bend over or it hinders me from working. Like, I did all that physical labor with my previous job for months on end, and it never bothered me. It's just if I sit in the same position for too long.
That's the thing, though. Like, you shouldn't be sitting and feel pain. That's when you should feel no pain in your back.
It's funny because right now, for me to not be in terrible, or for my back not to be killing me right now, I have to sit very... like a professional businessman in this chair. If you're watching the YouTube video.
That's how you're supposed to sit, so.
Yeah, it's funny because if we sat exactly how we're supposed to, we look like robots. Like, hello, sir, your paperwork is ready. If you're watching the YouTube video, you can see how proper I try to sit. It isn't me trying to be like, look how proper I sit, trying to be professional. I mean, if I could, I'd like to just slump like a troll like this, but it kills my back, so I have to keep it straight like a businessman. But yeah, stand-up desk, and then I want to get those Bowflex adjustable dumbbells that Evan has.
Oh yeah,
the multiple weights, and they're not too expensive on Amazon Prime, which is
they've
nice.
been out for quite a while. So
yeah, and I'm excited about those because it's all your weights in one place, which is organized, and I'd really like to get back to working out. I don't think I'll be able to ever work out to the point we did and when we were living in Duluth. You're essentially my personal trainer in Duluth. That's what
you want to call it.
Yeah. I'm not kidding, Jacob. That was the peak of my physical health was when we lived in Duluth, which is funny because, well, I mean, I guess it makes sense because I was in school full time, but I didn't have a job at the time.
You had a lot of time.
I had a lot of disposable time, and I spent most of the time obviously playing games and working out as often as possible. You and I could run, well, especially you, but you got me to the point where I could run 3 or 4 miles without even thinking about it, which is awesome. And now I run a mile and I collapse on the floor.
Yeah, I can't run anymore. So it's not that I can't, it's that I don't want to, just because my dad's had knee problems from running and I don't want to develop the same kind of thing.
Right. So what do you do for cardio?
I do other cardio machines at the gym. I'll ride bikes or...
Are you on Team Arrow? You go out at night and do vigilante stuff?
Yeah, that's good on the knees too.
Okay. So... biking's better for the knees then because it's just like the impact is not like really hitting your knees.
It's like no impact. You're just pedaling.
Right.
But there's also the elliptical. You know what that machine is?
I do. That's a great machine.
Yeah, that's my favorite cardio machine.
Nice. Yep. Elliptical's fun. Like I said, I'm a fan of the treadmill, but perhaps one day when I have a full-time job and I'm not in school and I'll have a bunch of other responsibilities, perhaps I'll get back to working out regularly. But I've made it a goal of mine to at least run a mile a few nights a week just to, stay somewhat healthy.
It's a good time to clear your head too.
It is,
Just,
totally.
Think about stuff.
Mm-hmm. That's typically when I get the bulk of my music listening in. I listen to mostly podcasts during my commutes to work, but when I run out of podcasts, I run out of podcasts on Thursdays, usually. And then after that, it's pretty depressing for the rest of the week. So
I listen to so many now that I never run out.
That's great.
I'm always like behind.
I've been jumping into a few new ones, one of which being, this is a really old one, but the Schmoes Knows podcast. They do a lot of Star Wars talk. And there's one podcast they do that's dedicated to Star Wars, but I can't find it because I found it on accident one time and it was so good. But I can't find it. I don't know what it's called. I haven't given it all my effort to find it. I'm sure if I really tried, I could. But that's a fun one. But
I know the Star Wars YouTube channel has a show they do every week that's about Star Wars.
Do they?
Yeah.
That's cool. Yeah, normally I reserve this for the very beginning of the very end, but I want to say thank you again to everyone who's tuning into this podcast because, like I said, we're huge fans of podcasts that I've been keeping up with for years at this point, and I get excited about them every week. And I know you guys have additional podcasts you listen to, obviously in addition to this one, but the fact that you enjoy listening to this and you express your support for what we do is very humbling, as I've said, and we greatly appreciate it. So thank you for being here. But sorry for interrupting, Jacob, about your exercise. Tell me more about your great week.
Oh.
Yeah, I totally cut you off. I'm sorry. You said it was good. Your arm's feeling better.
Right. Oh, I landed a new job, which is excellent. Been looking for a job for quite a while, but I managed to nab a photography job.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah. This place, well, I don't really want to say the place because I don't want people finding me or anything.
Okay.
Or I don't know if the place wants me to know that I work there yet, or like if they want the internet to know.
Right.
That kind of thing. But,
okay. It's the Daily Bugle, isn't it?
Yeah. Basically, I'm going to be taking pictures of people.
That's cool.
Like a photographer does.
So, they tell you the responsibilities, obviously taking pictures, but is it of anything specific? Like, what does the company do exactly?
It's anything from high school yearbooks.
Okay.
To, weddings or anything like that. So it could be anything.
It's a great time to plug this story. Speaking of high school photographs,
sure.
Remember the guy who took our entire school's senior photos from In and Out Photo?
Yeah.
Do we all have the same guy, that creepy guy?
I think so, yeah.
So guys, picture this greasy,
I remember this guy.
Probably 45, 50-year-old man, beer belly, bald, almost bald. And he's just gross, greasy man.
Yeah.
And he was infamous for taking all of our high school's yearbook pictures. Obviously, it was much creepier for girls because he would hit on all of them. I'm amazed. I know that same guy doesn't do it anymore because I think so many complaints came in about him.
Yeah.
But he's the creepiest dude. And this isn't just me. I'm not a high school girl, obviously, but I was just a guy. He took it beginning of our senior year. I remember this. So just a kid, senior year of high school, I go in. It's like, all right, man, we're going to take your pics today. So he'd prop you up on this car or something. He'd be like, all right, stick your leg up on the car. I'm like, why? He's like, it'll look good. So I stick my leg up on the car. He's like, all right, now give me your sex face and stuff. And I'm thinking, this is...
You said that?
Yeah.
What?
He's like, give me your best sex face. I'm like, what does that even mean? But he's asking me all these nasty, weird questions. He's just the creepiest man. He took all of our high school yearbook pictures. Is that going to be you?
That.
You don't remember that?
I hope not.
Oh, yeah. It was, yeah.
I'm going to be with a crew most of the time. So
okay.
Yeah.
That's cool.
And I'm going to be paid training, which is always nice.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's cool.
So I'll learn how to use all their equipment and,
That's
how to
exciting.
work with a team.
So when do you start?
Online it says my start date's Monday, but they haven't given me an exact date yet.
Okay. So if it's...
It'll probably be sometime next week.
Will you be doing, I don't know if you know all the details yet, but will you be doing yearbook pictures for elementary, middle, and high school?
I think they just do high.
Okay.
I don't know.
Now, obviously there's a picture day for all the high schools, but what happens after all the picture days are over?
I don't know.
You just
do other
out of
things.
work for the rest of the year. We'll call you again next year for picture day. They pay you like $2 million for
Certainly
picture day.
the fall is busier than the rest of the year.
Yeah.
So.
Okay, that's cool. So you don't do like public events, like sport, like a high school sporting event or something?
I'm sure they do, yeah.
That'd be pretty fun.
Mm-hmm.
I've always thought photography would be really cool. I'm going to try to take a photography class while I'm in school just for fun.
Yeah,
just to get to know my camera better.
When I first started, it was cool.
Yeah.
You should do it.
The few times I've attempted photography, I've enjoyed it. I don't really have a natural skill for it. I just like doing it. Taking pictures is fun. So that's all awesome. I'm very excited for you, Jacob. It's great. I'm glad
It'll be
to
fun,
hear it.
I think.
Anything else that happened to you this week?
Sure. I played some games.
Did you?
Yeah.
Okay, let's hear it.
Played some more WoW, just like every week. You know?
Yeah, absolutely.
Did a little more raiding. Nothing new on that front. It was fun, just like it always is. And played some Destiny, but I played with 2 of our community members that joined our clan.
Is that right?
That's right.
Tell me about it. Was it fun?
Yeah. I played with XPacer X
Okay.
and Mad Mike 22089.
Nice.
I think they just joined yesterday, both of them.
Okay.
And we teamed up, did a Nightfall strike.
Did you?
Did Archon's Forge. Did some patrol.
Man,
it was fun.
That sounds great, man.
Yeah, we had a great time. Had some good conversations.
Yeah, thanks.
Talked about our metal video.
Thanks for the invite, Jacob.
Oh, were you busy?
No, probably was busy. I didn't get home last night until like 11:30. So
Yeah, I think I got off by then.
that's fine. I saw you get back on when I was.
Yeah,
in
I
the
got
middle of
back
playing
on
something
because I was planning on doing something that night, and then the plans fell through.
Didn't
so
you
I
do
got
the
back
raid
on.
yesterday?
Yeah, I did it last night when I got back on.
Okay, that's what I thought. Who'd you do it with? Just random people.
Random people.
Nice.
And that was quite the experience. We did a full run of the raid completed. It was such a fun experience. But
Okay.
the people I was with, it was so irritating.
Really?
Like, there were 2 guys trying to lead the raid, and they were like the douchiest, like, they sounded like they were 16 years old or something. And it was so irritating, but like, they would get mad at people in the group that weren't like, they'd get really, really irritated when people screwed up. And
Yeah.
it was just something that I didn't really feel like being around, but I stuck it out. And I didn't finish till it was like 4 in the morning.
Yeah.
So it took quite a while, but I'm really glad I finished it. 'Cause
That's awesome.
It was a really fun experience.
You get any gnarly loot?
Yeah, I got the arms, the boots, the ghost, rocket launcher, and a scout rifle.
That sounds awesome.
Yeah, my light's almost 370 now, and all the gear looks freaking awesome. I can't wait to show it to you.
I bet. Is it all that red stuff?
Yeah,
Cool.
and the scout rifle is like, it looks like, you ever seen an Amalon scout rifle?
I haven't, no.
It's like one of the Foundry weapons,
Okay.
but it has like Siva infused on the weapon. Like,
Really?
there's wires on it and everything.
So
It
what
looks
makes you
really
the
cool.
difference between you and the actual Fallen that have taken advantage of the Siva?
Well, we're weaponizing it. We're using it for good.
But that's
kill
what the
evil.
Fallen were doing, so you're no better than they are.
I guess so.
You're a big hypocrite. You're a disgrace
well, it
to
looks
the Guardians.
cool though, right? That's
Yeah.
the biggest.
That's all that matters
yeah.
in Destiny. Your face is on fire. Who cares? It looks cool.
Yeah, I'm an Iron Lord. I can handle the Siva.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
That's cool, Jacob.
yeah, that was really fun doing the raid, and I can't wait to do it again because it's probably the funnest raid I've played out of all of them,
That's great.
including Vault of Glass, which is most people's favorite since it was the first. But
Totally.
yeah,
I wonder if I'll ever play that raid.
yeah, I'd love to get you in it.
I want to. It's just this. I'll get to why I think my chances are slim in a minute.
Yeah. Also, one other thing, there's so many like cool hidden like chests and stuff in there that it's so cool. Like, just go exploring. Like, everyone knew where all the chests was. It was just cool following them and like, how did you guys figure all this out?
Yeah.
I mean, like, I kind of knew just because I
YouTube.
looked at videos, but yeah,
Yeah.
it was cool just, exploring what Bungie built in this playable space.
All right.
And the raid's really beautiful too.
That's cool. I've seen what the boss fight looks like, and it looks amazing.
The last boss fight?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's pretty exciting.
Yeah, all the boss encounters are cool.
Nice. Speaking of pushy leaders of quests or raids, remember when we went to John's house and we were all in his basement playing Diablo 3? And we were playing with he and his brother.
Yeah.
And they played hardcore exclusively. They didn't play regular. So they're like, start a hardcore character and play with us. And remember, if you die, your character's dead. That already turned me off. I'm like, that's cool, but I'd rather just play the game and enjoy it.
Yeah.
And they're the kind of guys that have already played through like 11 or 12 of their hardcore characters, and they know exactly what to do, how to avoid death, and they've made it through halfway through the game. So
I guess for them, that's what they enjoy about it. Just always having that, that fear of losing your character.
That's fine, but I remember when we
adrenaline.
first played, I had never seen anything in the game, so they're like, go, 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 go.
Right, yeah.
They pushed us through Act 1, and like all the way through Act 1 and half of Act 2, I swear, in like 30 minutes. Like I had no idea what was happening. I just saw things exploding and dying everywhere I went, and they just miraculously got us there. Yeah. I remember the first time I played Diablo was that chunk, and I had no idea what had even happened.
Yeah, I think you bought it that night.
I did.
We were all going to John's house to play.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I really love Diablo 3. I look forward to the potential Diablo 4 down the road.
I wonder if we'll get another expansion or if it'll be a new game next.
Maybe.
I can do either.
I was having a blast on PS4 when we played it right before Destiny came out, I think.
Yeah.
And
that was fun.
That was the first time I got to see it in all of its beauty, because I'd go to John's house and his brother had that gnarly PC and the game looked gorgeous. And I was playing on my old Mac that was so old. It was from 2009, I think. And I was playing on the lowest settings. I'm talking 8-bit Diablo 3 is what it looked like. So
I'll never forget when me, you, and Preston just sat around the kitchen table and just played our Diablo every night.
Those are easily some of my favorite gaming memories, are us just sitting down in our tavern, quote unquote, that we made in our Duluth apartment and played Diablo for hours on end.
Like, that was before Destiny was even out, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I remember we were like all so hyped for Destiny, and now none of us play it besides me.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. Every time I hop into Destiny, even now with Rise of Iron, I'm loving it. It's so time consuming in the sense that for me to even play the raid, I have to grind my ass off, and there's still so many things I want to play. Yeah. But I'll jump into the games I play. Well, actually, before I tell my games, I'll tell my funny story of the week that's outside of gaming. I think I briefly mentioned this to you. It has to do with my drawing class at school. So currently, obviously, people that have gone to college or university, as our foreigners from the future call it, you obviously have core classes, or in my case, they're called foundation classes, which, get all the BS over with, and then you move into your major classes. So one of the classes I have to deal with, one of my first classes, is Drawing 1. And we draw pictures, and it's teaching us gesture drawing and values and principles and blah, 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 just how to have an understanding and a grasp of what it takes to draw like a good picture. So that's whatever. I'd rather draw than take like a history class per se, so that's fine with me.
Yeah, is there any math and history classes?
Well, I'm taking my math now, and ironically, I think I have a slightly better grade in math than I do in drawing.
Nice.
So it's going well, it's fine, but I'm striving to get A's. I really, really want to try to get straight A's every quarter if possible, because it's not hard to do. You just have to dedicate yourself to it. And I got an 83 on one of my drawings. It was one of my first drawings, and I was devastated by that because I followed all the instructions, and one of the requirements was present it professionally, so it was very clean and sleek and cut to the proportions it was supposed to be cut to, and everything was exactly how it was supposed to be. My teacher just didn't like the drawing very much. It was a still life drawing, which means you see something and you just draw it by looking at it. And he said all my values and my lights and darks were off, and we have to use charcoal pencils and compressed charcoal. It gets everywhere, and it's very hard to use if you don't know what you're doing. So I've gotten better at it, thankfully. But after that 83, I was like, man, I really got to give it my all to like do the best drawings possible. So following drawing, I got a 90 something. I was happy with it. This third drawing, put a ton more effort into it. I'm like, I got to get an A on it. So I put all this effort into it, and I was actually really impressed with it. I'm like, okay, this isn't too bad. I drew like Vault Boy over there. If you're watching the video, I drew him, and it was a still life that had to have 22 different objects in it that were overlapping each other. So it was a ton. And thankfully I had a bunch of bullets in my case over there. So I had like 19 bullets and like 3 random things that made the 22 objects. Yeah. So I got through it like that, but drawing was pretty good. So I get into class Tuesday, and every single class we have to present our drawings. We throw up, 4 of the classmates throw up their drawings at a time, and my teacher and the class, as part of our participation grade, is to critique all the drawings, how they can improve, what we liked, what we dislike about them, just to, constructive criticism, what it's all about. So we always do that. And my teacher at the beginning of the class spent a good 45 minutes doing a demo on what we're going to be doing next week, and was like, okay, now we're going to get to critiquing our homework assignment. So start critiquing assignments, all's well, and he gets through like 8 of them. There's 20-something kids in the class, and then I realize, holy crap. And this is one of the requirements on every drawing that I figured out. When you use charcoal, it can smear very easily, and that's actually part of the process. If you smear stuff, it can make shadows look really pretty. So you have to be careful that when you put it into your case or whatever, when you take it back to school, that it doesn't smear and ruin the drawing. And the way to prevent that is they have this stuff called sprayable fixative, which is very toxic and it smells bad, but imagine hairspray that you're spraying onto a piece of paper that
So I should use it for my hair.
Actually, you should use it as breath spray. If you're having bad breath.
Like Lloyd Christmas, don't even hit the mouth.
Exactly. Don't use gum, don't use mints, use sprayable fixative that locks charcoal in place on a piece of paper. So that's part of the requirement, obviously, so it doesn't ruin the drawing. And the whole time he's doing critiques, I'm thinking, I feel like I'm forgetting something about my drawing. I'm like, what am I forgetting? It's bothering me. And then he goes to smear someone's picture, and nothing smears. And then I triggered in my mind, holy crap, I forgot to spray my drawing. And that's points off if you don't spray it. If it smears, like, I have no idea how many points you can take off. And like I said, I want an A. I'm not a very good artist, so the fact that I forgot something means I might already be down to a B at this point. I was like, oh my gosh, I haven't sprayed my drawing. I'm freaking out. This is amazing. This blows my mind. This goes to say that if I wanted to be the Green Arrow, as far as stealth is concerned, I think I could do it. Because my teacher's critiquing, and then I realized I haven't sprayed my drawing. I've got to do something about this. So we've been and the classes are 2.5 hours long, so I'm thinking it's been about an hour and 45 minutes. We haven't had a bathroom break yet. Usually he lets us leave the class for 5 minutes to go to the bathroom if we need to. So he's like, all right, next wave of people, throw your drawings on the board. And at this point, it's almost my turn. So I'm like, Professor, I was like, is it cool if I quickly use the restroom while people are putting their drawings up? He's like, oh yeah, I totally forgot. Everyone, if you need to go to the restroom, you can take 5 minutes to go do that real quick. I was like, praise the Lord. So this is my plan. So I was just hoping he would do one of two things. One, I was hoping he'd just turn his back to me. So I hope he this is one in a million chance he listens to this podcast. So Professor, highly doubt you're listening, but if you are,
welcome.
Yeah. This is what happened and he didn't notice. This is amazing. So I was hoping he'd either turn his back to me so I could take my drawing out of my thing and go spray it somewhere, or I was hoping he'd just leave the classroom and go to the bathroom. Thank the Lord, he left the classroom. So as soon as he was walking out of the door, I open my big giant bag where all my drawing stuff is, take out my drawing, grab my spray, and I just immediately follow him out of the class. And I'm a good 10 feet behind him. He walks, turns the corner to go to the bathroom, and then I sprint towards the staircase. So we're on the 4th floor of this building. So picture me, I have my spray, my drawing, and I'm just flying down the stairs in this building, just all the way down, running as fast as I can. I was like, I only have a mere maybe 60 seconds before he's back in the classroom. Running, and I get to the security gate where I have to like swipe my card, and this lady probably thinks I'm insane with my drawing and my spray, and I'm trying to swipe my card. She's like, you have to press it under the thing harder. I'm like, it's not working. It was locking me out. So finally it works. I get to the gate and I run into the parking deck, and people probably think I'm insane because I'm looking for a good spot to spray it because I don't want to be in people's face spraying it, obviously. And I find a spot and just this empty parking spot. So I throw my drawing down to the ground. I open it, shake it, just spray the absolute crap out of it because you're supposed to do multiple layers, like spray it, let it dry, spray it again, let it dry. I was like, I don't have time for that. So I spray it just relentlessly for a good 10 seconds. And then in order for it to dry, I'm like, I can't just let it sit here and dry. So I pick up the drawing and I put it on my hand and I begin to spin in a circle. Like, imagine wind catching a sail of a ship and the wind's pressing the drawing onto my hand so that it's catching wind and drying. So imagine this lunatic in the parking lot spinning in circles with this drawing. People walking past me like, who is this idiot in the parking garage spinning around with a drawing? And I just didn't care because I so desperately want to get an A on this drawing.
Yeah.
So I spin around like a lunatic, and I'm dizzy at this point. I'm like stumbling to get back in the building, trying to swipe my card again. This lady probably thinks I'm on drugs or something. I get in there, and this time I take the elevator because the stairs are just exhausting going up the flight of stairs. So especially after I've been spinning in circles like an idiot in the parking deck. So take the elevator, I go up, and it's like a movie moment. I was hoping that because the elevator's come out right where the hall is, where he'd be coming back from the bathroom. Movie moment. I was obviously hoping he wouldn't be right outside the doors, but as soon as the doors opened, he had just passed by the elevators. I was like, yes! So I very quietly am walking into the class 10 feet behind him. He walks into the class, goes to his desk, back turned to me the whole time. I walk in right behind him, stick my drawing back in its case, sit down, and acted like nothing had happened. All in a mere, maybe just slightly over a minute, and I sat there like nothing had happened, and I was like, holy crap, I can't believe I pulled this off. And the funniest part about all that is that I'm pretty sure not a single person in the class noticed me. No one said anything. No one was looking at me. I just managed to pull
Everyone
this off.
Everyone just hates their lives, just sitting like zombies.
Exactly. So, I mean, that's basically college these days. But yeah. I pulled that off, and I was so happy that I did. And the funniest part about all that and me freaking out and going through that ordeal is that I never had to present my drawing in that class because we ran out of time. He's like, all right, for all of you that didn't get to critique this week, we'll do it at the beginning of next class. I was like, you've got to be kidding me.
So you did it Thursday, right?
I did.
How'd it go?
It was good. He said I had improved drastically and everything, and everyone was very supportive of the drawing. Like, wow, you've come a long way since week one. I'm like, thanks, guys. I'm probably the next Da Vinci. I mean, a lot of people call me the Da Vinci of this generation, so I understand.
Oh.
But yeah, it was hilarious this week, and I'm pretty sure I got a good grade on it. I haven't seen the grade yet, Excellent. But he was very positive about it. But I just thought it was hilarious that I went through that for nothing. But as far as games I played, Jacob.
What'd you play?
Obviously, we played Destiny, and we did the Strike. what was it called again? The Wretched Eye. That was pretty fun. Very short, but it was enjoyable. I liked the boss battle. Did a little bit of Crucible and crammed that in on Tuesday night when I should have been doing homework. Thankfully, I caught up in time. But did that. That was pretty cool. But the bulk of my gaming this week was last night. I got home from seeing The Magnificent Seven with my parents.
Ooh.
By the way, if you haven't seen it or if anyone hasn't seen Magnificent Seven and you had a general interest in seeing it, I highly suggest it because the reviews have all been average. Like, oh, it's just a fun movie. But I thought it was great. I wouldn't say it was amazing, but it was just a great movie. It was very entertaining all the way through. Loved all the characters. The action scenes were fantastic.
I heard there was only a couple of those.
The big set piece action scenes, there was only a few, but there was just little things in between that were entertaining. And it was just a great Western too. And it was good to see it's been a while since I've seen a really great Western. And I enjoyed it a lot.
It's been a while for me as well.
Mm-hmm. Denzel Washington's just the man in everything he's in. He was great. Chris Pratt was awesome. I mean, just the whole cast all around. Ethan Hawke was in it, I think, as well. Yeah, he was.
He is.
All the characters were cool. They're all diverse, and it was just a great time. So I highly suggest you guys go see that if you enjoy Westerns. But
for sure.
I saw that, and I got home last night, and I told everyone I was going to get on Destiny, but when I got on, literally no one on my friends list was on Destiny. No one. So I was like, oh, okay, that's surprising. And I didn't feel like playing by myself, and like I said, it's just a huge grind, and I don't want to grind right now. So I was like, I still need to beat Deus Ex, and Batman's out. So I'm like, I'm going to hop into Deus Ex, and I'm going to try to beat it. I beat the game finally, and it was awesome. Great experience all around for me. I know it took me way longer than everyone else, and Preston's, I think, beaten it 3.5 times and platinumed it, but I just beat it. But Preston was right. I think he mentioned on this podcast that the last mission is awesome, and it was great. I really enjoyed it. And the trophies I got, obviously I'm not going to get the platinum, I don't have time for that, but the trophies I was striving for was beating it without being spotted by anyone, beating it without triggering any alarms, and beating it without I just lost my mind. No alarms, not killing anyone. So I basically played through the game and no one even knew I existed, which is what I was striving for, which is awesome. It was really fun playing that way. And the boss battle was so funny because I didn't even read the trophy list, but I had a feeling that when it says no killing, it means also don't kill the bosses. So just in case the couple, I think 2 or 3 bosses you fight, I tranked them until they fell over. And the first 2, one of the bosses was a side mission, so I tranked it. I'm just going to say it because I don't want to spoil what the story is. But I tranked it once and it fell over and it fell asleep. I was like, oh, cool. So the final boss, I tranked him, I think, 50 times till he finally fell over and fell asleep. It was a cool boss battle in the sense that, I don't want to spoil it, but this is this big scary guy with this big weapon, and it's in this giant room with security everywhere. And there's all kinds of different ways you can tackle this, but my strategy was to go around the room and disable all the security, because the security has turrets and alarms, and he'll find you and kill you instantly. So I was just sneaking my way very slowly, disabling alarms. Whenever I had a chance, I would trank him and he'd get all confused, and then I'd go invisible and go hide somewhere else, and I'd do that. And I did it like 5 or 6 times. I was like, man, this guy still isn't falling over. So I got to a point where he was in this big opening spot where I was like, I wonder if I can just shoot him repeatedly and he'll just stay dazed until he falls over. So I finally get to a spot where I can do this. So I load up my trank rifle. I just go boom, boom, and he just keeps like kind of going like this, like, all dizzy. And I shot him like 10 times, kept reloading. I was like, is this a glitch? I was like, my goodness. He
is a boss.
You can see the trank dots in his head. He's like, you can barely see his face at this point because so many things are in his head. And I was like, my goodness, this is taking so long. I swear I shot him like 30 something times, and he finally fell over and I beat it. But
that's one way to beat a boss.
Yeah, it was hilarious, but it was a fun boss fight nonetheless, and just great game all around. I'm very glad that Preston told me all about Human Revolution back in the day. He's like, hey, Mankind Divided's coming. It's great. I love this game. I think you'll really enjoy it as well. And he was right. Fantastic stealth game, and I look forward to the sequel. There will no doubt be a sequel, especially based on the way this one ends. But
isn't this one the sequel? Or is it the
I think this is
one?
the 4th one in the series, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe the 5th.
Mankind Undivided.
Yeah. Mankind, what's the opposite of Mankind Multiplied?
Yeah.
That's different than Divided?
Sure.
That'd be kind of fun. It'd be really stupid. I'm sorry for saying that. Adam Jensen is a really cool character, I think. At first, I was like, because I had never been introduced to him before.
I don't like his voice.
I get that completely, but
really don't.
Once I've played through the game and understood his personality and character, I just think he's a total badass. And that's why I won't go into too much detail again, but I've mentioned multiple times, and I think it'd be awesome if they did a Deus Ex movie, which apparently there's been rumors of that at some point, perhaps, but Deus Ex movie with Keanu Reeves portraying Adam Jensen could be so gnarly. So I'm going to keep my fingers crossed for that. But Deus Ex was awesome. Jumped into Batman Telltale Episode 2.
Oh, how was that?
Dude, great. I really liked the opening, and already 2 things have happened in Episode 2 that I was not expecting at all, and it's just really keeps you on the edge of your seat because you don't know what's going to happen next, and I've been very intrigued by the twist they put on Bruce Wayne's legacy. It's very interesting to me. It's never been, at least in my experience, I've never seen it done before, and I've been very impressed with the storyline. So I think when you eventually get to it, when it's all said and done, I think you're really going to enjoy it.
I'm excited for it.
But I'm enjoying that as well. I'm only through the first half hour of Episode 2, so I got a bit more to do than that. But other than those 2 things, that's all I played this week. Unfortunately, as I said, my time's limited. But yeah, that's all I got as far as my week was concerned. You got anything else?
No, that's it for me.
Cool. We want to jump into this news. And
hey man, what's the news,
dude? So first on the list, Jacob, exciting stuff. Gears 4 is coming October 11th. That's a week from tomorrow, as of when this podcast goes up. Yeah. And I got to say, I've already mentioned this several times. I'm going to play it for all of you guys on Xbox that enjoy Gears of War. I know I've talked to some of you about it. Going to play some Gears for sure. Now, I was obviously always been a multiplayer guy in most games, whether it be third or first-person shooter, but Gears, the story has always intrigued me as well. I just think the world is very cool. And I was moderately excited for Gears 4's story. I didn't know what to expect. I was intrigued by the fact that Old Man Marcus is in there, and it follows the story of his son and his goons, his friends, I should say. So that alone was cool to me, but IGN, GameSpot, and a few others put up the first 20 minutes of the game, which is the prologue. I watched about 15 minutes of it. I didn't watch the last 5 minutes of it, but just seeing what they do to set up the story for the new one so far through the prologue just really had me interested. I'm like, man, this looks so cool. And just reminded me of how fun I had with Gears back in the day. Yeah. So that prologue and obviously the awesome trailers I've seen, like the launch trailer for the game, have all got me really excited to play it. I'm genuinely like itching to play Gears 4 now. I was already like, cool. Oh yeah, this is going to be fun. I'll play Gears. I'm a big Gears fan, but now I'm like legitimately excited for it.
Nice.
So I look forward to October 11th. Do you have any thoughts to add to that? Because I know you've mentioned you're probably not going to play it.
No.
It's all right.
I was earlier this year, but lately I just haven't been into playing every game anymore. Like I just want to play games that I want to play, and if I want to play something, I'll know it and I'll go buy it. But until then, I'm just going to play what I like, which is Destiny right now.
No, that's honorable, Jacob. That's kind of why I'm not diving neck deep into Destiny, because I wanted to finish Deus Ex. I want to play Batman. I want to play Gears, but Destiny's just kind of there.
I don't just want to play something just to have an opinion on it for the show, even though that would be smart of me.
Yeah, well, I'm kind of in the same boat now. I'm so limited on time that if I had as much time as we used to, then I'd make it my best effort to do that, because even
if this was our career, I would most certainly try to play every game.
Oh, absolutely.
Because I would have loads of time to do so, but I don't.
Yeah, I wish I could do that all day, every day. I'm sure most gamers do, but life is a thing and we have to work for a living. But that's all I'm going to be doing this fall, is playing games I'm interested in as well, because I just don't have the time. So if you guys take any interest in the games that we're going to be playing, then it'll be good. You know what I thought would be... What are you going to say?
So I'll for sure be picking up Mafia 3 and Battlefield 1. Those for sure I will be playing.
Yeah, speaking of Battlefield 1, what do you think of that story trailer they put out, the campaign trailer?
It's pretty cool.
It's awesome.
Yeah, I'm excited for it.
Me too.
For some reason, I wasn't expecting much because it's Battlefield, but I'm excited. I think they're going to do a good job this time around.
Yeah, I'm wondering... Yeah, me too. I'm wondering if focusing on the small individual stories across all the theaters of that war will help them really focus on developing the characters, even if it's brief. Now, I wonder if it'll be story chunk, beginning and end, story chunk, beginning and end, or if it'll be like, if it'll start a story, jump to another one, start another one, and then maybe jump back and finish it. That might be kind of confusing after a while. I imagine it'll be a beginning and end to each story, maybe, and maybe somehow they'll all tie together in the end. I don't know.
You remember that Ubisoft World War I game, I think? You know what I'm talking about? That little like
Valiant Hearts?
Yeah.
That one? Okay.
It would be cool if it was kind of like that, because it has the multiple perspectives in the war.
Did you play that game?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, I don't know if Preston has, but I didn't play that, and I recall you saying you played that.
Yeah,
you like that,
I think Preston
didn't you?
has played it.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a very artistic and heartfelt game. It's a good game.
Cool.
If it was like, I don't want the game obviously to play like that game, but if it was just kind of like the story and how the different perspectives come into play.
Totally.
If Battlefield took some notes from that, that'd be cool.
Yeah, the game looks beautiful too, and I know we can say that because we played the beta on PS4.
The horses.
Excuse me, I burped.
The horses ride.
Yeah, the horses ride fine.
Yeah.
But yeah, I really look forward to Battlefield 1 as well. That story got me really pumped. So that looks cool.
Yeah, it does look cool.
Something else I thought would be awesome is that I know we've mentioned on this podcast we're looking to implement new ideas, new types of videos into this channel. We appreciate all the feedback. We've got some excellent feedback from all of you. And obviously we're still in talks of maybe, perhaps, possibly being a Cowboy King. That's an Asking Alexandria song. I had to throw that in there just because those words tied together reminded me of it.
That's a good song.
We have perhaps considered starting a second podcast. If the door opens, we will sprint into the door. As of right now, it's just really a discussion we're kind of having over a period of a few weeks trying to figure everything out. But please keep those suggestions coming. That being said, I thought it'd be cool if, like, we're always being like, oh, Let's Plays. And I enjoy editing the Let's Plays for a couple of reasons. One, it allows me to implement creativity, hence the metal stuff we did. So stupid, but it just makes me laugh. So if
check out the
Wretched Eye.
The Wretched Eye Strike video that we released last week, if you don't know what we're talking about.
For some reason, when you had taken that deep breath and the face you made, it reminded me of someone screaming at a metal show. I was like, this could be so funny. So that's what I
think I was actually thinking of that song too.
That's why I did that. And the reason why I edit stuff like that, I mean, it isn't considered like a good edit. It's just intentionally stupid and funny to the point where if I ever go back to like watch these videos for the sake of memories one day, I can just be like, that's hilarious.
And if someone sees that in the first like few seconds, they're more likely to watch more of the video.
Perhaps. So either that or they'll just watch the intro and be like, all right, that was fun, and then go click something else. But
that's a view, I think.
Right.
I think that's long enough.
But the reason why the Let's Plays are fun for me is because I get to implement my creativity, and just the production of them I think is fun as well. And we invested in the green screen, which I really enjoyed too. Yeah. So the Let's Plays are fun just for the sake of editing them, putting them together. But as I said, if we ever did a second podcast, we'd probably cut back on the Let's Plays, maybe do one a week, maybe one every other week, because if we had 2 podcasts, that'd be like the bulk of our content. But I enjoy those nonetheless. And I was going to say we should focus on, what if we just played games with the community more rather than just be like, watch videos of us playing games? What if we just played more games together? Like made an effort in our PSN community, which you all can join. It's called It's Obvious Game. You can find it in the Discover tab of the community section on PSN if you haven't already joined. We just have discussions there and just make an effort to play more games with each other, and not even just you guys playing with us, but you guys playing with each other. And even when we start the Xbox Club, play more games on Xbox together.
I always have a blast playing with people in our community.
Me too. The few times that I've had the chance to do so, it's been awesome.
Yeah. Every time we play with Edgar, it's always fun when we play Overwatch. The new guys I just met on Destiny this week, like, it's always fun.
Yeah, that's like the design of our channel. I mean, I know a million channels say the same thing. We want to have a community. We want to do this, blah, blah, blah. We mean that from the bottom of our hearts. We want a community where we can talk to you guys about all this stuff and experience them with you as well. And the beauty of PSN and Xbox Live is that we can share those game experiences together.
I always enjoy meeting people and hearing their stories, you know.
Me too. Please send us friend requests and let's talk, let's play games. I was just thinking it'd just be cooler if we made an effort instead of being like, let's dedicate an hour and a half to make a video to let people watch us play games when we can just play them with you anyway. It's
of course, scheduling's always not going to work out, but right. Sometimes it does, and we'll take advantage of that as best as we can.
Totally. So I just think it'd be cool if, let us know what you guys feel about that. I just think it'd be, oh my gosh, look at Green Arrow's arm is falling off.
What?
How did that happen? He's cheap.
What happened?
I've been toying with him. I'm just going to quit touching him.
Is it still on?
It's still on there, just is very loose. It's like a loose tooth.
Loose tooth. It's just a loose arm.
Yeah, it's kind of gross when you have a loose tooth when you're a child. It's like still attached, but it's like flopping around in there, and you just have to pull it.
If you just bite something wrong one time, it's snap.
How disturbing. No, but that's what our mindset should be like. Let's just play more games with you guys. It'd be a lot more fun anyway. But that being said, Jacob, Beyond Good and Evil 2 has been teased further.
Oh, wow.
Preston can add more to this conversation. What's today? Today's Saturday?
Yes.
Let me call him real quick. I want to get his thoughts on Beyond Good and Evil 2 because he's a huge fan.
What's the date today?
Today is
It's October, isn't it?
It's October 1st, yeah.
Wow.
Saturday, October 1st.
October is already here.
Yeah, so I'm going to get his thoughts on his potential excitement for Beyond Good and Evil 2 because he was a huge fan of the original, and the reason why I have interest in the next one is because of him. So
okay,
bear with us, ladies and gentlemen. He may or may not pick up.
I really hate that guy.
Yeah, I hate him too. Come on, Preston. He could be working on... I think he said he has to work Saturdays too. Dude? Yeah, he's probably working. Yeah, there he is. Sorry if that just killed people's ears. He might call back, but I'm going to read a little excerpt from... is that how you pronounce that? Excerpt?
Excerpt.
Yeah. From this article that I grabbed it. It was a long article, so I'm just reading the brief bit of it that grasped my interest. So it says, since a certain 2008 teaser trailer, talk of Ubisoft's in-development projects has continuously circled around whether Beyond Good and Evil 2, a sequel to the critically acclaimed but commercially shunned 2003 adventure, would ever see the light of day. The first game's creator, Michael Ansel, is currently working on his own indie project, Wild, as well as a game for Ubisoft, which CEO Yves Guillemot, maybe it's just Eve. I know Felipe corrected me.
Is it Eve or Jeeves?
I think it's Eve. Yves Guillemot confirming that the project was indeed a Beyond Good and Evil sequel, or perhaps that it should be a prequel. There's a lot more to that article, but I think it's pretty much confirmed at this point that Beyond Good and Evil 2 is in development. Never played the original. I've seen gameplay. I was refreshing my memory of it before we started this podcast. That's what I was watching. But
I've heard of this game.
Yeah.
What is it?
The basic gist is, if I remember correctly, you're an investigative journalist. This girl named, I can't remember her name.
Eves.
Jade or something, maybe? Yeah, Eves. I can't remember her name, but you're an investigative journalist who is like an action-adventure game. You take pictures and you fight creatures.
Okay, yeah.
You have a pig companion. Yeah. I think his name's starts with
Eves.
a P. Yeah, Eves. That's the one. You fight enemies called Eves. There's a big Eve conspiracy. You know, it surrounds a worldwide alien conspiracy or something, and you just kind of investigate it and fight stuff. Here he is. Preston, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Good. You're on the It's Obvious podcast. I wanted to ask you a quick question.
Okay.
So obviously, Beyond Good and Evil 2 has been teased for a while now, and more deets came out surrounding it this week. I just wanted to get your potential excitement for the game. Are you at all interested in that?
In a sequel?
Yes, or a prequel?
I mean, I'd be interested. I thought the first one was really good, but I kind of don't really care anymore. It's been so long, and they've been talking about it so much that I'll kind of believe it when I see it.
Yeah, I feel you.
Yeah.
That's great.
So, but yeah, if it were to happen, I wouldn't be like excited, but I'd be like, yeah, I'll play that.
Yeah. That's cool. Are you having an okay week? We miss you.
Yeah, I miss y'all too. No, I'm really stressed. I just have a lot going on.
I'm sorry to hear that, Preston.
It's quite fine.
I'm sure everyone in this podcast is happy to hear from you, though. Did you play any fun games this week on a lighter side of things?
I've literally not been able to look at a controller.
Oh, dude, I can relate to the most part.
I've worked 2 16-hour days, 1 17. Yeah, and then like another 2 11s.
Oh, boy.
And it's Saturday, and I'm working again. And I would be working tomorrow, but I forgot why, but I can't. And even when I get off work, I'm emailing people and I'm calling people because things aren't here that I need.
Right.
And yeah, it's just I look forward to it being done.
Amen, brother. I bet you're looking forward to that PSVR when you get home. It's your treat when you get home.
Yeah, I was told that I'm already booked to go somewhere else that week. So
are you serious? Out of state?
Probably. There's another job in Texas coming up, and I'm trying to figure out right now if I'm actually on that job or not.
You could potentially take the VR with you if you packaged it right, couldn't you?
Fly with it?
Yeah.
I don't know. I'd have to buy like an entire like Pelican case just for that thing,
right?
Or something. So I don't know. I'm gonna try and get at least. I'll have this if I finish everything according to like schedule and what I'm, just during. We're supposed to finish this coming Friday, and so far we're on track. If everything is shipped in time and we actually receive everything and stuff, so I should be back a week from today, and I'll just try and take some time off like next weekend so I can actually play it. I just think traveling with that thing might be a little bit of a hassle.
It sounds like a hell of an experience.
Yeah, I looked at my paychecks, and it makes it a little bit better.
Yeah, I can imagine so.
Yeah, having literally no time, working like 6 days a week, that adds up. So
yeah, I bet.
At least that's nice.
Yeah, totally.
So, but yeah, that's going on. Is it? I completely forgot today was Saturday.
Yeah,
so.
We figured you were working. Are you working right now?
Yeah, I'm working right now.
Okay, well, we're...
Today should be an earlier day. I'm by like 5 or 6, I'll get off.
Well, that's good. I'm glad to hear that,
I
Preston.
can technically get off whenever I want to because I'm in charge.
Right.
But I think the adult decision would be 5 or 6.
Totally.
So, yeah.
That's great. Well, do me a favor and eat some tasty food while you're there in Texas, and keep us in your thoughts, because we're all keeping you in our thoughts. We miss you. It's not the same without you, but we're trekking on.
Will do. I appreciate your hard work, gentlemen.
Yeah, the podcast has been suffering tremendously without our host. It just falls to pieces. Me and Jacob sit in silence and stare at each other for about 45 minutes, and then we remember what else to say. So
I figured that's what would happen.
Yeah, you know. But we miss you, Preston. We'll see you again soon. I hope you have a great rest of your day.
Absolutely miss you guys too. I will, and you all do the same.
All righty, sir. Talk to you later.
All right, see ya.
See ya.
Wow, what a great talk.
I was going to say, that guy's the worst. Gosh, finally. Moving on, this is classic comedy, Jacob. You ready for this one?
I like comedy.
According to Phil Spencer, Microsoft's original plan for the Xbox One was to sell 200 million consoles.
That's nothing.
And that's nothing. I sell 200 million consoles.
How many did
every
the
day.
Wii sell? Do you know?
It's in the hundreds. I think it's 100 something million, which is also a butt ton.
Yeah.
Now I'm going to read this article. It's slightly lengthy, but it's very interesting to talk about.
Well, before you even get into that, they were like planning for that Xbox that came out, the Xbox One, to be all you would need,
right?
With all the sports packages, the TV and your Xbox, all that stuff in this one box, this entertainment box. So, realistically, that's not. Well, I guess not realistically, but ideally, it's not out of the question. I guess they were expecting it to be huge, but obviously, it wasn't nearly as huge.
Yeah, I get that. I get what you're saying. It makes sense because on paper,
it's like, forget your Blu-ray. You don't need that crap. Just get the Xbox.
Yeah, exactly. It's looking at
everything.
It on paper. I bet it did look like the ultimate entertainment machine. You got your games, you got your TV, you got your streaming services. You have literally everything. You can use the internet on it. It's literally everything you need in this box. And on paper, I mean, I can understand why they'd be like, oh, everyone's going to need this thing. But obviously, the bulk of console gamers is obviously gamers, so they want the games. Now, it's according to this article, I'll get into it, but apparently people stream content just as much as they play games. It's almost like equal ground, which makes sense because you call yours the Netflix machine.
Oh yeah, so that's all it is, honestly. All
right, so I'll jump into it and get these details. We'll talk about some more. But it says Microsoft's Phil Spencer says the company originally planned to sell through 200 million units. In an interview with Stevier, Spencer explained the original plan and how that plan has altered since its inception. Quote, the goal that the team had was to figure out how we could sell 200 million game consoles, says Spencer. We've never seen a console sell that many units. The biggest individual console, the PS2, did 120 million or something like that. Spencer goes on to explain how the original idea of the all-in-one media system has been scaled back in some respects to refocus on being a gaming console first. Quote, when we came in after 2.5 years ago and started running the Xbox program, I centered us back on not trying to become something other than a game console. You don't earn the right to be relevant in other categories of usage for the console until you've earned the gaming right. So let's go make sure that's what we deliver. In terms of media usage, for example, Netflix, YouTube, and so on, Spencer says people are watching as much TV as they are gaming. That said, Spencer believes the Xbox One needs to succeed with gamers first before we get any permission to do anything else. With Xbox One sales increasing by almost 1,000% in the UK following the release of the new 500GB and 1TB Xbox One S models, one could argue that Spencer's outlook, at least in short term, is working.
I bet you they're going to win this month again over PS4 because of Forza.
It makes sense. Yeah,
I know people, especially in the UK, or not just the UK, but in Europe, people love Forza as well as in America and all over the world. So
yeah, it'll be interesting.
Forza's huge for Xbox.
Yeah, no doubt.
Especially the Horizon series. I feel like that series in particular is really
Forza Horizon.
Yeah.
It is interesting because with PS4 Pro coming out, I'm just going to be intrigued as far as the sales are concerned and what the response is like. I know everyone it's pretty split in my experience as far as I see on multiple media outlets, people expressing their thoughts regarding the PS4 Pro and all that. They're all saying, half the people are saying this is pointless, it's stupid, blah blah blah, and there's the chunk of people that say they're pissed because they just bought their PS4. which is a much smaller percent than I was expecting. It's either this is dumb for this reason or this is great for this reason on both sides. So I haven't really seen
unnecessary. But.
Right, I haven't really seen a middle ground. But yeah, I'm kind of in the middle ground as well. I don't think it needs to happen.
I haven't really seen a middle ground. I'm in the middle ground as well.
I mean, I don't see the middle ground, but if there is one, I think you and I fall into that category because
people that are trying to be reasonable.
Yeah,
not just spit in the internet hate.
So, I mean, we've discussed our thoughts as far as the pros. I know this is about Xbox, but as far as the pro is concerned and consoles in general, because I mean, I'm going to buy it. I've already pre-ordered it. I look forward to owning it, especially for the sake of the VR, because the VR is coming out on the 13th, and it supposedly will enhance that experience, which I'm excited about. But it'll just be interesting to see how it plays out, because I have no idea what Sony's thinking is, if they think they're going to sell a butt ton, if they're just selling just enough just to satisfy the hardcore gamers. I don't know. But that being said, I'm going to ask this question from the community, or grab this community question real quick, because I was going to throw it in at the end, but it's relevant to what we're discussing. It says, this is from, sorry, I'm on my phone today. Let's see. I think I lost it.
Garrett, tell us the question.
Oh, here we go. This is from Sizu Mizu on Twitter using the hashtag AskIOG. He says, do you think gaming platform wars are good for gaming? The stronger the competition, the bigger they need to improve. Thoughts, Jacob?
Competition is good for everyone, because we don't just have one company running the show, which would be create a monopoly. So you don't want a monopoly because you can't control the price of the market.
Right.
And it's good for us. Yeah.
At least we can always count on products for the most part improving.
Yeah. As far as like Xbox versus PlayStation, like that whole internet battle, whatever you want to call it,
the never-ending war.
I mean, I don't really mind it. I mean, I don't really get into it.
Me neither. Yeah, it doesn't make a difference to me.
Yeah, I mean, I like both consoles. So.
I do think it's a good thing, just because the competition always promotes progression and improvement and everything. So
that's true.
And but that's fun.
Which sparks innovation.
Absolutely. So I just thought it was, I mean, it's funny to think in the sense that Xbox One didn't sell nearly as much as they wanted to, but they have had a huge turnaround with the release of the Xbox One S.
Phil Spencer has been good for Xbox.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's definitely...
Not that he's the only one, pulling the plugs. Or not pulling the plugs, but, making the decisions.
No, I get what you're saying completely. Yeah, but they have definitely had a turnaround as far as the persona and the vibe they put out as a company. Obviously, they throw out a lot of attack ads towards PlayStation very subtly, which is funny. But as far as their products are concerned and the games they have coming and the support they've had for their gaming community has been great. So that's awesome for the sake of Xbox.
They probably have the better online experience. So,
They, like we said, totally understand why on paper they're like, oh, this will sell 200 million easily. But obviously, that was not the case. But moving on, we have details concerning PSX 2016. Everyone was wondering when this is going to come out. It's finally here. This is pretty exciting. It says Sony has officially announced the details for the 2016 PlayStation Experience, confirming the earlier leak by the official registration website. The show will begin on December 3rd at 10 a.m. Pacific time with the PlayStation Showcase, while the Capcom Cup is also returning to the event this year, in which players will compete to be crowned the Street Fighter V World Champion. The full PSX show runs through December 4th and will take place in Anaheim, California at the Anaheim Convention Center. Inside the Anaheim Convention Center, attendees will get hands-on time with the PS4 Pro on 4K TVs and dozens of PlayStation VR demos, PlayStation Showcase, developer panels, merchandise, and a whole lot more.
Wow.
So that's pretty cool.
When does the Pro come out?
November 11th?
Yeah, so it comes out before they're doing that, right?
9th? Yes, it does. So people that don't already own
people
Pro,
that are undecided will have a chance to try it out and see how beautiful this 4K thing is.
Definitely. For those that...
See if it's worth another $400.
Yeah. So for those who will attend PSX 2016 who have not purchased a PS4 Pro but are interested and are wondering what the big debacle is, perhaps if they go, experience it for themselves, they're like, hey, I actually want this, and it'll sell some more units. I don't know. Yep. But that's cool. I always like keeping up with stuff that comes out of PSX. What do you think we're guaranteed to see at PSX this year? As far as games are concerned, I know hardware's a thing. As far as VR and PS4 Pro is going to be there. But as far as games are concerned, let's talk about what you would like to see and what you think that we're almost guaranteed to see.
I haven't really thought about it, honestly. That's when a bunch of the indie games and stuff are announced, right?
Yeah.
The smaller stuff.
I think we will...
I don't know if I want to say like we'll see a bunch of maybe not a bunch, but some more Gravity Rush 2 gameplay, but it's coming out like that same month, so
yeah,
I don't know.
I think we will for sure see more from Horizon, which I don't think we really need to see much more.
Yeah, that's the thing. I don't think they need to show anymore.
No, but they probably will.
They might though.
Even if it's
I'd like to see some God of War gameplay.
I would love that,
but again, I don't know if that's necessary yet. Maybe save it for E3.
Mm-hmm. This is what I would like to see. Probably not going to happen because, as we said, there's no use in promoting things too early. We've seen the Spider-Man trailer. That's basically all we've seen. We've seen how cool his eyes look on PS4 Pro. Yeah. But other than that, we haven't seen much. I think all Spider-Man fans and PS4 owners are hoping to see a little more from Spider-Man. I don't care if it's 30 seconds. 10 seconds.
I want to see some gameplay.
That's what I mean. I would love to see like 5 to 10 seconds of him swinging through the city.
You still think that game's coming out next year? I'm not so sure. If it does, it's going to be fall for sure.
I think it'll be next year for sure.
I don't think it's going to come out when the movie does next year.
My prediction,
like you guys originally thought.
No, it's not. No, I never thought it was going to come out towards the movie. My original prediction that I think I'm going to stick to is it's going to come out between September and November of 2017. That's my prediction. Is that too early?
I think you guys said that, and then I said I thought March 2018. I think that's what I said.
That's a solid prediction as well, which I can wait for it. I want this to be the Spider-Man game we always hoped and dreamed for.
Be. Insomniac's a good studio.
So obviously, I think they know that. They're not going to rush it. So take all the time they need by all means. But I would love to see a GIF of gameplay. That way people can share it everywhere. I don't care if it's like a split second of him swinging across something. That'd be awesome.
We kind of already have that, don't we? Just him
in the trailer, yeah, it's very brief. But I mean, even though it is, you can tell that is gameplay. I would love to see it, like maybe a HUD of some sort or something. I don't know. But
show us a quest in the city or something.
Yeah, no, but I obviously we're all looking forward to that. When the game comes, and obviously I'm keeping my fingers crossed that we might see a little snippet of PSX. Unnecessary, sure, but maybe we'll see something to appease the fans.
One more thing about Spider-Man: if we see Venom and Carnage, I'm gonna just poop everywhere.
I think we're guaranteed Venom. Maybe Carnage.
Besides Joker, as far as villains go, those are my 2 favorite by far.
I feel you.
Those are my 3 favorite, counting Joker. So.
Yeah. I'm really excited about that. There's just obviously endless potential with what they could do with that. So thank the Lord it's happening. It's really exciting. Horizon, maybe Spider-Man. Maybe we'll see a something for Persona 5 since it'll be at that point be coming out 2 months later.
Yeah, maybe.
So I think we may see something for Persona, perhaps. What else? Maybe something from
Resident
Detroit.
Evil VR.
Yeah, we'll probably see something for Resident Evil for sure.
I want to see some VR stuff. Maybe some new games they're working on. That's what I really want to see, actually, is some new VR development.
I agree.
As far as the games.
Yeah, I'm getting hyped about that for sure.
Yeah, I've been watching people unbox it and try it out. That's cool. I haven't seen any gameplay. I don't think the restrictions are lifted yet. So, but when they do, I'm going to be all over that. And I can't wait to get mine eventually. Yeah. Probably around Christmas time as well.
I mean, arguably, you will sort of have one because you'll be over here plenty. And you and I are going to, spoiler alert, do an unboxing. Has there been plenty of unboxings already? Yeah, but we got to unbox ours because we're excited about it. So we'll do an unboxing. We'll do plenty of demos of VR and stuff. And there's 2 things that I want to do that I think would be really great. One of them is more of a technical type video, but I think it'd be cool to do.
Do you have an original idea?
I do have 2 original ideas.
Then you shouldn't tell it right now in case someone wants to steal it.
Well, that's true.
Because everyone watches our video.
There's one more than the other idea that I have that I'm sure people have maybe thought about, but just in case, I don't want to mention yet. I'd rather it be a surprise anyway for our viewers. I don't even know them yet. So. Right, I'll tell you later. I think it's going to be really funny, but. Yeah, we're excited about VR. Yeah, it would be cool to see more VR. We might, probably obviously they'll focus on exclusives for PlayStation. Maybe we'll see a little snippet from Days Gone again. But it's funny because most of the games, with the exception of Horizon and Persona, there's not really any other PS4 exclusives coming soon after that. So
we got, what's that game called that's been in development for like 10 years? The one that got delayed till December.
Oh,
Last Guardian,
yeah. But that'll have been out by then, so.
Will it?
Yeah.
Does that come out at the beginning?
I think it comes out November or December?
No, it's December.
Is it?
It's like, I forgot. It's within a week of Gravity Rush 2, but I don't know when that comes out either.
Okay.
It's the same month. So I don't know if they'll bother with, promoting it. Yeah, I mean, they're obviously going to promote it, have it on the floor, but.
Yeah. We might see.
I don't know things, Garrett. I just
It's
talk.
fine. It's fine. But Infinite Warfare will have been out for a little over a month at that point, so they might be like, here's a DLC trailer for Call of Duty since they're in bed with Call of Duty right now. Perhaps something like that. But I would like to see, this is also probably not going to happen, but maybe a teased reveal of the Last of Us sequel. Maybe from Naughty Dog. That's probably also out of the question.
Isn't that where they revealed the first Last of Us? Or was
that was at E3. They
sure?
revealed the first Last of Us, yeah.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure it was, because I remember seeing the demo for the first time and Preston calling me immediately after being like, holy shit, did you just see that? And I was like, yes. So that's the thing. I'm a dreamer, Jacob. I've always been a dreamer, and that's why I always like to speculate and dream about what I'd love to see or experience at anything. And those are the things I'd really like to see. If I had to have just 3 things happen, it'd be Spider-Man gameplay. That's the thing. I could do without everything else. I just really want to see Spider-Man and maybe a Last of Us tease or something. I don't know.
I'm excited for new VR games.
I feel you. So it'd be fun. I think it'd be fun one day if we could afford it to just fly out there and go to it, because the tickets are cheap. They're only like $60 or $75, somewhere around there.
And it's in Anaheim?
Yeah. So
I've always wanted to go to Anaheim.
Yeah, it'd be awesome.
Nice
Any
city.
part of California would be cool.
San Diego, I've heard, is nice too. TwitchCon's going on right there.
Is it?
Right now.
Okay, that's cool. Yeah, it'd be fun to go to any convention one day in the future. The closest thing, like we said, to a convention we've been to is the Xbox thing before Xbox One came out.
Are we talking about the Amazon Prime, Twitch Prime thing that got announced?
I heard about that. We don't have a Twitch channel. You probably know more about it than I do. You want to talk about it?
If you have an Amazon Prime account, you get a free sub to any Twitch account,
right?
Which is really cool.
It is cool, but you're like
Twitch.
tied exclusively to that one just through Amazon, though, right? Like you can still hop on Twitch and go to your other subscriptions, but on Amazon you have a free one if you have a Prime account.
Yep. Which is cool. You know, it's good for streamers.
Yeah,
obviously.
Maybe one day we'll stream if we ever have enough people that would sit there and watch us act like idiots on camera. Which people already watch us act like idiots on camera.
We're far too small at this point.
Oh yeah,
and we don't have enough time, obviously.
Yeah, but live streams are cool. It'd be embarrassing to the sense, like I've already said, I suck at playing games and talking. We'd probably do the situation where you'd play and I'd talk to the people that are tuning in, or vice versa, or something. But that's something that we've obviously.
I watch a lot of live streams, so I really, it's something I want to pursue at some point.
That's something to strive for sure. Yeah. It'd be awesome. It'd be fun to do like live stream day, like a dedicated day or evening every night of the week where we live stream for a couple hours. It'd be cool.
That'd be cool.
But all kinds of stuff we have ambitions for on this channel that are all ever evolving as we continue to grow. So thank you guys for supporting us. We're enjoying every moment of it. The PS Plus free games for October have been revealed as well, soon after the PSX event details that were leaked. We got Resident Evil on PS4. It's free.
That's big.
The remastered version
Halloween
of it.
game.
It is. I played through about 2 hours of that game when it was remastered for PS4. Enjoyed it a lot. And obviously I said just the taste I got of that game, it gives me a lot of speculation towards Resident Evil 7 and how they may, because you're back in a mansion again, perhaps. There will be little tricky puzzles and little confusing mysteries you got to solve to get to the next area and stuff. So that alone has me excited for the new one, but I really did enjoy the chunk I played of Resident Evil 1. So that's for free. Transformers Devastation, which if I'm not mistaken was one of the better reviewed Transformer games.
I think IGN gave it like a 7 or an 8.
Okay. So have you played any of the Transformer games?
No.
Neither have I.
It looked decent though. Like it has that cartoony look, but not that it has anything to do with the gameplay, but I heard it plays decently.
Yeah, the art style...
I'm pretty sure I remember the story being very terrible, but it's fun.
Okay.
So
yeah, the gameplay, like I was going to say, I've seen, obviously...
Don't quote me on that.
Yeah. I've seen gameplay from multiple Transformers games, and all of them at one point or another have looked semi-interesting to me. I'm like, oh, that looks kind of fun. Never played them, but that's cool that it's free. Obviously, I said, I always say, oh, it's free, I might play it.
If you got PlayStation, download it, give it a shot. Maybe you'll love it.
Perhaps if I remember, maybe I'll set a reminder on my phone for some of these. We got Mad Riders on PS3.
Wow.
I've never heard of Mad Riders, have you?
No.
Neither have I. So that's coming to PS3. Also on PS3, From Dust.
Ooh.
Don't know what that is. On PS Vita, Code Realize Guardian of Rebirth.
What?
That's what it says. Code Realize Guardian of Rebirth.
Realize.
Yeah, that's interesting. I haven't heard of that either, but that's on Vita. And then Actual Sunlight is coming to PS Vita, which I have heard of, but not much. I've just heard that name before.
I haven't heard of like any of these games.
There's actual sunlight coming through my windows right now.
Yeah. It's hot in here.
It is kind of hot. It's gotten a little toastier.
I don't know how you're wearing that hoodie.
Yeah, before you got here, I was like, man, it's kind of chilly in here. And I threw it on, and then by the time we got going, I'm like, it's warmed
take
up.
it off.
It's just, you're so beautiful and attractive, Jacob. And it's the same thing, but you're a gorgeous man, and you just emit heat because of it. So that's what you just heat up. It's your fault, is what I'm saying.
It's not because the AC's turned off.
No. It's just
the fan's not running.
It's your physique heats up the room. Heats me up all the time. So thank you for being here, Jacob. It's great to look at you across the table.
Thanks for having me.
So we talked about PSVR. What's some of the most anticipated games you have for VR? You'll get to play all of them, Jacob, because Preston and I both will have VR. You're going to be playing it plenty, so you can get excited about whatever you want, because we're going to play it all. Anything that really stands out to you that you're really looking forward to?
Valkyrie,
okay.
Battlezone, the game I played at the demo at Best Buy. That was a very fun game.
Totally.
I enjoyed that one. Resident Evil. I don't want to play through the game. I just want to see what it's like.
You're gonna have
totally
to
creeped out.
You're going to have to do one Let's Play of it for sure in VR.
Yeah, I can't wait to hear y'all's thoughts on it, because I'm not going to buy it, obviously. But I'm excited for Riggs.
You'll have thoughts of your own. You're going to play it just as much.
Yeah, I'll have a few thoughts.
Yeah.
A few terrifying stories, maybe.
Yeah, from Resident Evil. It'd scar you for life.
Yeah. I'm excited for Gorilla's Riggs game. I think that'll be fun. And there's another one, but I'm forgetting the name. What about you?
Mostly, I'm looking forward to playing a Drive Club VR.
That's what I was going to say. Yeah.
Definitely Drive Club VR, and especially Batman Arkham VR, because obviously I'm a huge Batman fan, and the little snippets I've seen from that game look really awesome. So.
I think Batman will be cool, but I don't know if it's... I don't know. I want to... Oh, no, did you break it?
It's still on there. I think it's attached by a string. I'm going to quit touching him until I have
leave
it.
him alone.
Sorry.
He's trying to save the city.
Sorry, Mr. Arrow. But I know Farpoint's still... I don't think it has an official release date, but it's supposed to come out before the end of this year, if I'm not mistaken.
Really?
Yeah, the one we're on Mars or whatever.
Yeah.
So
I don't know how I feel about that one.
Yeah, it looks okay.
Yeah.
I mean, then again, all the games look okay. We've experienced Valkyrie, you've experienced Battlezone in our brief demo we did at Best Buy when we tried it. So just that tease alone, like you said, we did an extensive review of our experience with it, and we're super pumped about it.
It's not necessarily that I'm excited for games. I'm more excited for experiences and like what they can do with the VR. I just want to, I want to feel like I'm actually somewhere and what they can sell me on.
Totally.
Just looking through a headset.
It's great that the unit comes with the demo disc with all those demos on it. So
yeah, I'll definitely try all those out.
Yeah, it's going to be really fun. I'm excited about it. It'd be fun to have a Let's Play of just a montage of us playing all the demos cut together. I think it'd be cool. Just
if you could only get one game besides the demo disc that comes with it, what would you get first?
Probably Arkham VR. Because I've heard nothing but good things about it. Now, Drive Club VR has me really excited as well, but Arkham VR specifically just because I love Batman.
I think it was actually Pacer, the guy I played with on Destiny the other night. He's getting the PSVR.
Is he? Okay.
Yeah, and he's getting the Pro, actually.
Nice.
So he's like all in.
He's one of us.
Yeah.
Hashtag not fanboys.
And he's talking about getting a driving wheel and a seat.
Oh, really?
To have that full experience.
Dude, that's totally worth it.
I know. I was like, wow, that's going to be so fun.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I'm
Yeah, to
jealous.
all of you that had played driving sims and actually have like the wheel and the seat and stuff and like the shift, that's awesome. I'd love to have something like that if I could afford it.
I've never been like a huge driving, fan, or I enjoy.
I feel like
them.
VR will bring me into the driving world though.
That's
so
just
cool.
a different kind of game when you actually feel like you're driving the car.
Totally.
Instead of just controlling the car.
Yeah, especially the fact you can look around at your own will while you're driving and stuff is cool. It's probably the you're asking for motion sickness at that point. But
or you just look at the mirrors, you don't have to.
Good. That's true. It's just fun too, just the fact that you can do that. Like you can physically, like The Exorcist, twist your head around and look out your back windshield if you want to. So it's pretty cool. Jacob, the Lion King live action movie has been confirmed.
That's exciting.
The details say Jon Favreau's next live action Disney film will be a remake of The Lion King. News comes via a tweet by Favreau and was later officially confirmed by Disney.
How are they going to do this? Here's what I want to know.
Here's my thoughts on it. You've seen Jungle Book, right? The new one?
No.
Dude, very good movie. Now, I feel bad because when I went into that movie, I was not expecting much. One, because there's so much CG. Now, even in the trailer, the CG looked great. It's just me being... I know this sounds like such a hipster when I say this, but movie fans will admit that practical is always much more exciting. And that's the thing. A blend of CG and practical is the beauty of what we can accomplish with technology today. And it was so much CG that I was kind of turned off to. It was like, I don't know how this is going to be. Turns out it was a phenomenal movie. And some of the best characters were the animated creatures voiced by characters like, or actors like Bill Murray, Idris Elba. So all their performances were great.
Who did the snake? It was the Scarlett Johansson.
Yeah, that's right. That was the only character I did not particularly care for in Jungle Book. I didn't think her. I mean, that's the thing. I get what they were going for. They're like the sinister female anaconda or whatever. That's fine, but I don't know. I didn't really like it.
Sinister female.
Well, yeah. I mean, the sinister anaconda, right? Portrayed by female. It didn't make a difference to me, but I didn't think. I feel like Scarlett Johansson has a beautiful voice, but it didn't feel
She's
sinister
a beautiful woman.
to me. She is. I didn't feel like she had a scary. I know maybe the snake's supposed to be like a seductive type snake. Maybe that's kind of the idea.
I think that's what they're going
because he was like
maybe.
hypnotizing everything in the original and in the movie. But I can see in that sense why they thought that would work.
Seductive is hypnotizing.
Right. I guess if I think about it I mean, I know it sounds creepy when she was trying to quote unquote seduce Mowgli into strangling him, but if you think about it in more of a seductive way rather than a scary way, it makes more sense. So maybe I didn't dislike Scarlett Johansson now that I think about it, but overall the characters were excellent. The CG blew my mind. Like it, for the most part, looked all very realistic, which is amazing how far we've come with that technology. With that being said, unless they change a few things, there's never been any human characters in Lion King.
No.
So arguably, at that point, it's just an animated film that looks very realistic, which is fine with me because, as I said, the CG was so good in Jungle Book that it basically looked real. So you could almost imagine it being a live-action Lion King movie.
Yeah. It's really bothering me how the sun keeps going down. Or
I just realized
not down,
that.
but the clouds keep coming.
Oh, I just realized that. I was wondering how it got randomly darker.
It gets very dark, then it brightens up.
Yeah, but I will say I'm excited about that for sure. I love the Lion King. I haven't seen the original.
Leave
Lion
the
King.
man alone.
Sorry, Mr. Queen. Excuse me, Arrow. He's not Oliver Queen. But yeah, if I have anything in front of me, I have to touch it for some reason. So.
Like I've been playing with this pen for the last.
There's an episode a week or two ago where I was doing that for like an hour, and it drove me insane.
When I'm doing the time switch release. Yeah, because I forgot to do the time again.
Oh, that's always my fault too. I forget to start.
I loved
how
you realized when we were
on
the.
I looked at it, and there were no times on it. I was like, how do we not have any times? And I realized.
Waiting for you to notice that.
Yeah, I realized we didn't start the timer as always. It's hilarious. But I was editing that podcast and realized that I'd clicked the pen 400 times. So that annoyed anyone. I'm sorry. Sometimes when you're just in the middle of a conversation, you don't realize what you're doing. Like the time Jacob was completely nude talking to us and didn't realize he had stripped completely.
Episode 69.
Yeah, that was the best episode. If you guys missed it, tune in. We 69 in the table for 3.5 hours. So
it was right at the end. I think it might have cut off though.
Right
at the end.
Yeah. So unfortunately, but that's cool. Do you have any what do you think needs to happen in the live action version? Do you think it needs to be a little more intense? Like the Jungle Book action scenes were pretty intense. I was surprised for it technically being a children's movie. I'd like it to be,
yeah.
Like imagine the fight between Simba and Scar at the end. That could be gnarly.
Could be cool. I don't really know what I want. I want them to show me what I want.
Right, yeah.
I mean, I don't know anything about making a live action, movie that's been animated prior.
Mm-hmm. If there's one thing we can count on is that Jon Favreau is a very talented filmmaker, and he did an amazing job with Jungle Book. So I have a totally open mind and open arms to this Lion King live action movie. I'm just going to wait and see what happens, kind of like you said.
Lion King's one of my favorite movies of all time. So I hope they don't screw it up.
Yeah, just
I don't want the brand Lion King to be associated with something bad that could be this. I hope it's not. I'm not saying it will be, but I've always appreciated Lion King. It has probably, if not the best, one of the best soundtracks in all movies.
Oh, totally.
Ever.
I was going to bring that up. I'm going to mention this too before I forget. We'll jump back into the music. But I found this out this week. Now, apparently this is common knowledge among a lot of fans of just Disney properties in general. Yeah. But apparently, and not even apparently, this is a fact that Lion King was heavily inspired by either a Chinese or a Japanese film that came long before it called Kimba. And hence Simba. Yeah. Apparently it's like the exact same storyline, just with different kinds of characters.
That's kind of what Disney does. They just take stories that have already been told and
make
do
them
their
amazing.
Own take.
Yeah. But yeah,
it is what Disney does.
Right. I wasn't like
they don't have original ideas for the most part. Frozen was a new idea. I'm pretty sure. I think.
Yeah, Frozen was, I think, unless it's based on like an old fairy tale or something.
And like lately, they've been trying to like make new stories because they've been criticized so often for just
Moana's
retelling.
out now, and that looks great.
That's true. Yeah.
And it's not out yet; it's coming soon. But I'm really
that looks
excited.
good. I want to see that.
Me too. We should go. I think we talked about seeing that together.
Did we?
I have no one else to see that with. I don't think my mom wants to see that. So
I haven't seen any movie in a while. I think the last movie I saw was, give me a second. What was it?
Was this something you saw with me and Casey?
Maybe.
I don't remember.
What was that movie called?
I don't remember.
No, it was something after that. We saw Lights Out.
Yeah, we saw Lights Out.
It was a comedy.
We saw Don't Breathe.
Yeah. Yeah, Don't Breathe. I don't know why.
We saw something after Don't Breathe?
No, me and a girl did.
Oh, okay.
It was
Sausage Party.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it was Sausage Party.
Okay.
That came out after, right? Or was that before? Maybe it was before. Either way, those are the last two movies I saw.
I just got a random text from someone on the metal band Preston and I are in to just message us and be like, hey, I just found your music. I was like, whoa, that's weird.
Nice.
So no one's told
I'm
us.
going to plug in your metal band here?
I guess. I think we've plugged it before, but
well, we have new
this is this funny situation is that Preston and I in a metal band, Preston's a guitar player, I play drums, and I really like the band a lot. I really like the music that Preston's written. And we have 6 songs. It's all in our SoundCloud. We have a YouTube channel as well, but the YouTube channel has like nothing on it. The SoundCloud's where you'd want to go if you want to hear it. But the band's called
YouTube.com/itsobviousmusic.
Yeah, It's Obvious Music's our heavy metal band. But the band's called Among the Valiant. That's the band name. It's a metal band. And yeah, it's fun. We haven't done anything with it in a very long time. It's funny because I've been in a group text with the other band members talking for months now. When are we going to record? Let's record this day. Let's record this weekend. Let's do this. And we're always trying to make dates and they never happen. So, because we want to, our goal, there's no way the band's ever going to probably be anything. But our goal, we're like, hey, we started this. Let's see it through. We started an album and we had 5 or 6 songs out of the 11 we were striving for. And we have obviously other stuff written. We just haven't recorded any of them. I'm like, let's at least just finish the album, put it out there, and then that's when we'll just call it a day with the band.
The problem with finishing at this point would be you've already wrote half of it probably, and since it's been such a great amount of time has passed since you've wrote anything new, it might be of a different influence. Or
exactly. That's
people they want to make new kinds of music.
That's what's funny is that just to get the 6 songs recorded that we do have, a few of them are similar, but it was over a span of like a year and a half, and our tastes were changing constantly. So the 6 songs we have are very different.
It's gonna be like the most diverse EP ever.
Right? Yeah. So if you guys have any interest in hearing our tunes, you can go to YouTube if you want, but I suggest SoundCloud. Just search Among the Valiant, and you can check out our tunes if you're interested. But
I'm not in the band, just to clarify.
No, yeah, it's just me and Preston.
I'm just a groupie.
So, but yeah, what was the next one? The Portal movie has been teased as well. Apparently it's in development as well as a Half-Life movie, but
I didn't know J.J. Abrams was
producing or whatever. Yeah, I didn't know that either. Cool. It said according to him that a Portal movie announcement is coming soon. So I have no ties to Portal. I recognize that it's a very successful franchise and there's a lot of big fans. And I've seen gameplay. I think I've played at a friend's house once. I played it for maybe 30 seconds before we went somewhere because he had it on.
Yeah. But
it's a cool concept. I can imagine them. Now, I don't know anything about the story, but just thinking of the gameplay, I can imagine that being crafted into some kind of cool story. So, man, that was announced. I thought we'd just throw that out there for those of you.
Unfortunately, I never played either Portal, and I've always wanted to.
I'd love for someone to sell me on Portal. And that's the thing. I'm not turned off to it. If it was right in front of me, I would play it. I just don't have a drive to go out and find it to play it. If anyone out there listening to this podcast is a fan of Portal, just hop on YouTube, join us in this conversation, be like, hey, this is why you should play it. Perhaps it'll inspire me to play it.
One of them is it the first or the second one that's known? It's in a lot of the top 10 best games of all time lists.
Yeah.
I don't know which one it is, but
yeah, I recall seeing in a lot of those lists as well. So that's pretty cool, I guess, for fans of that franchise. Jacob, we're on to our main topic of the show. This comes from.
Can I mention something first?
Yeah, go for it.
Did you hear that the last Rogue One trailer will be shown during Doctor Strange?
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Doctor Strange comes out in November, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
So I thought that was worth mentioning.
I hope they don't reveal too much, because I've already seen enough. I'm sold on the movie for sure.
Well, they released like 3 trailers for episode 7.
Mm-hmm. They
didn't really show that much.
Mm-hmm.
So I have faith that they won't this time.
The trailer, the most recent Rogue One trailer where they show Vader at the end, I saw for the first time on the big screen last night. The trailer's so awesome.
Yeah, I'm excited.
I'm pumped for that movie. So yeah, that's
I have a feeling
exciting.
those battles are going to be like out of this world.
I hope
literally.
So. Yeah, literally on different planets. But yeah, I have high hopes
if we
for that
thought
movie.
the Hoth battle was good, like I think this battle is going to be incredible.
Oh yeah, if we're being honest, it's going to make that look like crap. But this thing, it's the legacy of that battle that's so exciting. And I still enjoy watching it, but technically speaking, obviously it'll be better. But it's exciting to get pumped about that movie because I have high hopes for it. But Jacob, this is our main topic. This is a great one. This is a fun one. One we haven't discussed before, but I think it's more relevant than ever. So huge shout out to our friend from the community, Sam Harris, on Twitter with the hashtag AskIOG said, with it being the year of remasters, do you think that game publishers are reaching the point of running out of ideas?
Is it the year of remasters?
There's been a lot of remasters.
There's been a lot. There was a lot, like 2 previous years too, though.
Right, yeah. Now,
ever since the new consoles have come out, everything's getting remastered.
Mm-hmm. Now, I'll give my thoughts on all this soon, but just to clarify, remasters that we've seen this year alone, this is just some of the big ones. I know there's probably more, but there's been several Resident Evil remasters or re-releases in the sense of Resident Evil 4. True. Gravity Rush was remastered. Gears Ultimate Edition was a remaster, and some additional
features. Did that come out this year?
It did, yeah, beginning of this year.
I thought it came out last year.
No, it was beginning of this year.
Okay.
Now, Ratchet & Clank arguably is a remaster, but at the same time is a reimagining built from the ground up.
I consider that a new game.
Yeah, me too.
Well, it's both.
In a way. Yeah, it's an example. I don't consider it like a strict remaster.
I'd say it's worth counting.
Yeah, just to throw in there because technically it draws heavily from the original. But are we talking about Resident Evil 4's re-release? BioShock the Collection was all remastered. Batman Return to Arkham's coming into this month.
Skyrim.
Skyrim's coming.
I forgot about Skyrim.
Call of Duty Modern Warfare is included with Infinite Warfare. That's a remaster. That's just some of the big ones coming. So yeah, there's been a lot of re-releases, but my thinking is a couple of things. One, just right out the gate, in the mindset of the publishers, they're in the business of making money. And obviously, the vast majority of remasters sell like hotcakes. One, for the nostalgia factor. People are like, oh, I loved this game. I'd love to not only experience it again, but a remastered version would be great. So that alone
Before I
sells
forget,
people.
I want to say this.
Okay.
I think part of the reason we're getting so many remasters, like especially with Modern Warfare in particular, like people, every time a publisher releases something new, like especially with Call of Duty, they're like, why don't you make a World War II game? Why can't we just go back to Modern Warfare? Like that in particular is why I think they're like putting the time to remake that game instead of making new ideas. Like obviously they're making the new Infinite Warfare too, but I feel like most people are buying the new Call of Duty for the experience they've already had and they know they already love. So, continue.
No, I get that.
I have more thoughts, but I want to hear the rest of what you have to say.
Obviously, the money factor is one thing because people buy them. I'm guilty of that as well. It's not a bad thing to buy remasters. It's fine. Like I'm glad that they're making them because so far all the games that have been remastered I have purchased and enjoyed. Yeah. Tomb Raider on PS4 I enjoyed. The Last of Us remaster on PS4 I enjoyed. BioShock Collection, although I'm only a chunk of the way through BioShock 1 again, I'm just remembering how much I love the original and playing it again has been great. Like I said, I dabbled in Resident Evil, and some of the games are great in the sense that I never played some of them. Like mostly the Resident Evil stuff I have not ever played, so getting to experience those has been great. But I also think the advantage of remasters is that for some developers it buys them time in developing their next game. For example, Resident Evil 7 has been in development. In the meantime, they've been whetting people's appetites with all the re-releases and remasters of Resident Evil.
Or perhaps is Originality dying? I don't think so. I just think that it's smarter for companies to re-release games that they already know are going to sell well. And they don't have to take a chance on making something new that they have no idea if people are going to like. So I think that's a big point. That's
another thing I was going to mention is that we have a lot of sequels as well. We see a lot more sequels in original games. For example,
there's nothing wrong with sequels, though. I mean, you're always implemping new ideas and
exactly. That's the thing. I'm not opposed to sequels at all. But for example, we have, just to name a few, Mafia 3,
and the Uncharted series.
Yeah, Uncharted, Call of Duty this year.
Loads of Call of Duty.
Dishonored,
Battlefield, Titanfall 2.
Yeah, Titanfall 2. Exactly.
You could go on forever.
Mm-hmm. So that alone, I mean, it makes sense because if you make a great game that's well received, obviously you want to take that and improve upon it. And it's hard to think of a sequel that's worse than the original in video games. Now, that happens all the time in the movies where a sequel's not as good as the original. That's more common in movies for sure, but in games, it's very difficult to make a worse sequel. That'd be a challenging topic. I thought of, like, what's the worst video game sequel, or even more fun one, pitch a better sequel than what we got of a game. But that's the problem, is that most game sequels are better than the original.
Is Red Dead a good example? Do I have that backwards?
No, I mean, Red Dead Redemption, although technically it's a sequel to Revolver, I don't think they're tied story-wise, so arguably it's a different game entirely. But
BioShock?
BioShock 2 is a lot different from the first one in the sense that you play as one of the big daddies versus just like a normal guy.
That's what I'm saying. They're like, the original BioShock's like this renowned game, and BioShock 2 was, for the most part, looked down upon. So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Especially by reviewers.
Yeah, so obviously they sell well. Sequels make a lot of money as well, especially if they're better, obviously. And I'm excited about all the sequels you're getting. I'm going to play almost all of them.
You mean remasters or sequels?
Or remasters and sequels, both. Like Mafia 3 is I mean, this thing, some of the sequels are sequels, but just numbered for the sake of brand recognition. Like Mafia 3 is totally different than Mafia 2. Different time period, different character, different story, blah, 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 blah. So in a way, it's entirely different, which is exciting. Yeah. But that was another point I was going to make. Original titles. Now, this is why I also don't think originality is dead, although it's not as prevalent as...
I just think there's more games coming out now. So we have room for both remasters and original ideas from even the same studios, sometimes.
Now, I'm going to name just a handful of the AAA titles we have coming that are totally original that we're anticipating. A few of them including, obviously, The Last Guardian. Now, I know there's a lot of speculation around that game in the sense that people are worried about it. It doesn't make a difference to me.
I'm worried about it.
I don't know if I'm going to play it yet. This is going to be the first game in a while where I will truly wait for the review, because I can almost always look at a game and be like, I'm going to enjoy that. But that I just don't know. So I'm going to wait for the reviews, and if it's overall positive. I mean, that's the thing. I'm not the kind of person that lets other people's opinions influence me, but if they're like, it's just garbage, it's not worth it, then I won't play it. But I don't think it'll be garbage. Based on what people have been saying, I think it'll just be a fine experience. That's what it seems like.
I hope it's an emotional experience.
Yeah, me too. I hope it tugs on my heartstrings.
I haven't had a good emotional game since probably Journey.
Mm-hmm. You know what's funny?
Maybe I'm forgetting something, but...
Yeah, that was emotional for me. You know what's funny is that Gears, speaking of Gears 4, even though that's recognized for me a very hardcore, violent game, the story really can tug at your heartstrings.
The trailer they released was heart-tugging.
Yeah, especially in Gears 3. I won't spoil it for those who haven't played it, but there's a moment in Gears 3 that I was like, man, that really hit me hard. And in Gears 2. But Gears 4, just based on the trailer alone, a few of the moments, especially the fact that has to do with family, like Marcus and his son, I can already tell that something's going to hit me. Not to the point where I might cry, obviously, but I might be like, man, that's very sad. And I like when a game can achieve that.
Yeah. Rise of Iron was kind of sad at the beginning.
Yeah, it was. When Lord Saladhead lost all of his friends, they sacrificed themselves. Yeah, well, sorry, guys. Another one, Horizon, obviously Zero Dawn. Never seen anything like it. I mean, just think about on paper if you read this. Caveman woman in a world ruled by machine animals and dinosaurs.
That's about as original as you get.
I know. Like, that sounds just amazing on paper.
It kind of sounds like Killzone, but not really. It's, dinosaurs.
Right.
So
it's
cavemen.
That alone just looks and sounds amazing. That's original. Days Gone, although it looks like stuff we've seen before, the zombie apocalypse, you're running around the wilderness. That looks familiar, but the fact that it's a brand new game from Ben, like obviously there's a Days Gone. This isn't a sequel to the original Days Gone. It's the first one in the series.
We've never seen that many, whatever they're called, creepers, walkers, whatever those
creepers
things are.
Or something. Yeah,
we've never seen that many on a scale in a game. So that'd be cool to see.
Obviously, everyone's like
that in itself is original.
Yeah, exactly.
Not zombies, but just what they're doing with it.
Right. Even though everyone's calling it like, yeah, well, you can say whatever you want, they're still zombies. But the fact that they describe them as being
they're alive,
very sick people that are alive, they sleep,
they
eat, and then blah blah blah. So that alone is cool.
Obviously, they eat.
See, that's the thing. They remind me a lot of the vampire-like zombie creatures in I Am Legend. That's what they remind me of. Because there's hordes of them and they sleep and they stay. And
that's a good comparison to Days Gone.
Whenever I see those things, actually, when they said that, when they announced that like they aren't zombies or this, I'm like, that sounds like the guys from I Am Legend. which is pretty cool.
That's
Another
a
one.
terrifying movie at some points. I Am Legend.
There's a couple creepy
Like
parts.
when he's in that really tight space and those things are like trying to get in and kill him.
Mm-hmm.
That's really like I was scared at that point.
I think the part that creeped me out the most is when Sam, his dog, runs into that dark building all by herself, and he chases in there after her, and he's going through the dark building. That's pretty creepy.
Yeah.
And the part where the creatures were smart enough to use his familiar surroundings against him. When he'd go into the video store and talk to the mannequins. Well, he's walking down the street and sees that mannequin he talks to just in the middle of that street, and he's like, "What the hell are you doing out here?" He's like, "How did you get out here?" And he's like, "I probably just out of fear. Like, how did that get there?" But he's acting like it's just a weird situation. Obviously, he gets in the trap, and like the sun's going down, he wakes up, and everything, all hell's breaking loose. That's a great movie. I love I Am Legend. Yeah,
it's one of Will Smith's better performances.
Absolutely. Totally. Scalebound on Xbox One, where you're that guy with the badass beats riding dragons, man. That game looks better the more I see from it.
I want that game to be really good. I think Xbox needs a really good narrative game besides Gears and Halo.
Totally, yeah. So, I mean, I love Gears and Halo, and that's the thing. Gears really, especially in Gears 2 and 3, the narrative has been really impressive, and I imagine that'll go into Gears 4 as well.
I guess they had Quantum Break. I appreciated Quantum Break.
I mean, I always forget about that. That's an original game that really was a good game.
Yeah. Did I have fun? Kinda. But it was cool how they changed it up and did something new.
Totally, yeah. That's a great example, Jacob. That alone answers the question, is originality dead? Because although I didn't have a blast with the game, I had fun with it for sure, but I wasn't like, this is amazing.
Yeah, never before have I played a game and watched a TV show at the same time.
Right. Now, looking back on it, I could have done without that, because they would either take forever to load, or they'd buffer, or even to download them, it was huge files. But I can appreciate the fact that they did that, because it was cool.
I'm glad I played it.
Me too. Yeah, I'm definitely glad I played it. I like the story a lot. I love time travel. So that was a great example, Jacob. Good call. I always forget that we played Quantum Break. Sea of Thieves, also, I think that's an Xbox One exclusive and PC, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, honestly, we don't have a lot of pirate games.
But we love our Black Flag.
Black Flag is so good. If you haven't played Black Flag, play that game.
It's so much fun. Good. Yeah, I love it.
I don't think there's a single thing wrong with it besides... No, I can't think of anything.
I can't think of anything either.
Like, the combat's great. I guess just the problems with Assassin's Creed are the problems with that game. But if you can get over that, then in my opinion, it's the best Creed game.
Me too. I like it a lot.
So
just being a pirate.
But that's coming from someone that hasn't played any of the Ezio games or the first one. So take my opinion with a grain of salt.
The only Assassin's Creed game that I didn't particularly enjoy all the way through was Unity, and that's the thing. I don't think any Assassin's Creed is a bad game at all. I just think they're very underwhelming for the most part.
I did not enjoy Unity. Story was very bad.
That's what I didn't like about it. Like, the gameplay was fine.
I didn't play Syndicate.
Me neither. I didn't play Syndicate. That's the reason why I didn't play it, was because of Unity. That's funny, because that's the first time in my life where I actually, regarding games, I said, I'm probably not going to play the next Assassin's Creed, and I actually didn't play it.
I'm surprised I never played it. I always planned to, but time just passed. And
I heard it really wasn't that bad. It's just the same old thing. It's not that great, and that's obviously why they're taking time off.
It's cool they had a female assassin.
Yeah.
It's the first time we saw that.
And she was, in my opinion, the cooler assassin. Yeah. So, but Ubisoft did say, I meant to bring this up, it wasn't a big news story, but it was an off comment at some event, but they said that Assassin's Creed, the next Assassin's Creed, isn't necessarily guaranteed to come out next year.
I heard that too, yeah.
If they can't get it done in time, they won't, which I hope they stick to that. I hope they're not we have to put something out. If anything, do another, they did the re-release of the Ezio collection, do a re-release of Assassin's Creed 3. I know a lot of fans, at least from what I've read, which is surprising to me, have said they didn't particularly like that one, but I thought Assassin's Creed 3 was awesome.
That was okay. I appreciate, I really, really, really like the time period that they did. That's such a cool time period in our country's history. Mm-hmm. So it was cool exploring that, but at the same time, the story wasn't that great. So
the story was okay. I like the fact that it was a very Luke Skywalker, Darth Vader type story where Connor's father was the enemy, and he, spoiler alert by the way, but you grow up with the Indian tribe, and then you get involved with the Order of Assassins.
Well, the game's been out for a while, so.
No, I actually really enjoyed that game. I know it was underwhelming in the sense that the trailers portrayed it to be this big epic war game where you're going to be in these huge battles and stuff, and that wasn't the case.
I remember that game was supposed to be huge, and it was, but
yeah. I recall playing that game extensively, and I loved the tomahawk combat too. It was so brutal. That's probably, with the exception of Black Flag, my favorite combat in any of the Assassin's Creed was with the tomahawk.
I will say that his name's Connor, right?
Yeah.
I'd say he's probably my favorite assassin out of all of them.
Okay. Yeah. Connor.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like him in the sense that he was very...
I like the whole Native American story.
Me too. Yeah, I liked the characters in that game and his upbringing, and I liked what he stood for, and he was very stern about it, and just... I mean, he's one of the more serious assassins for sure. Like, obviously, all the ones since then have kind of taken after Ezio because he's the most popular. He was a very outgoing, funny one. Yeah. But I really did like Connor a lot, and I just like how that story played out. And my favorite musical theme from the Assassin's Creed games is from Assassin's Creed 3. The main theme of that game is so epic. That's like a song I would die to. If they're like, you're about to die today and like you have no choice, that's the song I would die to. It's so epic. But Assassin's Creed 4's theme was amazing too. Every time I played when you're fighting a ship. Some of my favorite experiences in any game are when I would swing over or whatever you did to get onto the enemy ship and just slice guys and then climb up the tower and conquer it. That was just so fun.
One of my favorite game songs is the title music from Halo 4.
Yeah, it's great.
Like, that woman singing is like so beautiful to me. It just makes me happy.
Mm-hmm. Rise of Iron's theme is beautiful too.
Yeah, it's very similar to Halo themes. I've noticed with the orchestra sound.
Yeah, I could talk about music and movies and games for hours. Dude.
My favorite music of all time from any games is both Kingdom Hearts 1 and Kingdom Hearts 2. Like, their main track, like that, their title songs. Mm-hmm. Those are the two best songs in any games, in my opinion. Yeah,
I told you that Kingdom Hearts 2, I cried at the end because of the music and just the way it ends. Yeah. Freaking, just thinking about it now kills
Those two games need to be on PS4. Why are they not on PS4 yet?
I love that, Jacob. Wasn't the first one remastered with some
PS3?
Weird... Oh, that's right.
They're both on PS3
That's
now.
right. How silly. What the heck?
And they released... They put the first Kingdom Hearts on PS3 before PS4 was out. But then they put the second Kingdom Hearts on PS3, but PS4 was already out. Yeah. So I don't understand why they didn't put it on PS4.
I remember being a little boggled about that myself. Like, that doesn't make sense. But
I'm sure Kingdom Hearts 3 is going to take like 15 years to make. So we'll have time for them to make those.
It'll be PS4. A repeat of Final Fantasy 15, but it'll be Kingdom Hearts 3 like 25 years from now.
By the time they get out on PS4, the next PlayStation will be out.
Right, probably. Probably the next 3 PlayStations will have been out at that point. But yeah,
that's really frustrating. I wish Square Enix would make the games I want.
Yeah, we'll see. Detroit Become Humans, another PS4 exclusive that's coming. I know that's from I forgot the developer again, but the same guys. I think that they did Heavy Rain.
That's true.
Is that the same developer?
Yep.
Games like that. Obviously, they've made a few like that, but this one I'm really intrigued by, where you're like the cyborg or the AI person, detective, in a world like that. And I think it looks, just based on the demo and the details I read following up with that demo at E3, has me really pumped for that as well.
Speaking of other new ideas, I know this has been out for a while, and I always talk about it, but Destiny, like, that's an original idea. It's taking a bunch of elements from other games and just making it one game.
It's the first of its kind, for sure.
It's not a shooter. It's not a MMO. It's not an RPG, but it's got little elements of all of that in this play space.
That's a great example, Jacob.
I wish it was all of those combined, so I would never need to play another game again. But
yeah, totally.
Alas,
we have our hopes set high for the sequel to Destiny. So,
yeah. I mean, did you hear all like the news? The Kotaku. I linked that article on our Twitter. I retweeted it.
Yeah, I skimmed it because I was at work that day. But do you want to share a few of those details that you know off the top of your head?
Yeah, this is all speculation. Obviously, it's from Kotaku, but apparently Destiny 2 is being made for PC as well as Xbox One and PS4, which people have mixed feelings about. I think it'd be awesome. It'd increase the player base, and then there was also talks of there being bigger play spaces like open world patrols and stuff with like actual cities and like people walking around and stuff. So that would be insane for something like Destiny. And apparently like they're talking about making the Cabal a big part this time around, since they've done nothing since the game has come out. And it would take place on Saturn, the first like storyline.
Yeah,
should be cool. That was the gist that I got from it.
That would be really cool.
And they don't know people don't know if our progress will carry over. It might just be a fresh new experience.
That'd be fine with me.
Yeah, I'd be okay with that. Mm-hmm. Even though I've put hundreds of hours at this point into Destiny.
Yeah.
I'm completely fine with that.
Uh-huh. It'd be cool. I mean, even at the very least, obviously, I think we can expect if we do have to start over, even if it gives you the option to import your character, I might just start over anyway. I'd like to start fresh.
And they also said that maybe they'll scrap the Hunter, Warlock, and Titan classes for new ones, which would be interesting.
Oh, that would be cool. Like just 3 brand new classes.
Yep.
Oh,
maybe they'll take some, abilities from each ones and make new upgraded classes. Who knows?
That'd be kind of cool.
This is all speculation, of course, so we have no idea.
That's fun.
Bungie's obviously not going to say anything.
Mm-hmm.
But I really hope they show a trailer at PSX. That's probably not going to happen. But
that or maybe
it's more likely
next year.
E3.
So,
and hopefully it'll come out shortly.
I think we're probably guaranteed some sort of tease at E3 next year for the sequel to Destiny. So,
but yeah, Destiny
isn't it supposed to come out next year?
Yeah, that's when it's said to come out.
Now, has Bungie themselves said that?
Activision said it in their press release or whatever. It's their earnings call.
Can you imagine? Of course, it'll have been out for 4 years at that point.
Yeah, for some reason, I have a bad feeling that it's going to be pushed to 2018. And if that's the case, I don't know what they're doing next year.
Just based on the rumors surrounding it, that would make sense to me as well.
Yeah.
But
I don't know how long they've been working on it, so,
yeah,
none of us really know for sure.
We'll see.
And if it'll even be called Destiny 2. Who knows?
I think Destiny 2 sounds weird.
I kind of like Destiny 2, though. Just sounds right.
Destiny 2. Yeah, I guess.
I don't know. What else would they call it?
Maybe Destiny, people could then again confuse it with a DLC, because all the DLC is like Destiny, The Taken King, Destiny, House of Wolves, Destiny, Rise of Iron.
What if it's not even called Destiny anymore?
That's what I was thinking.
What if it's just like a word that's kind of like Destiny, but something else.
Yeah, rename it entirely, since it's basically being revolutionized from the first one. Like Destiny was the beta test for the actual game. It could be
Destiny backwards. No,
probably Activision being the publisher, they'll be like, sorry, you got to call it Destiny 2 just for brand recognition. But I've always been a fan of sequels that have either different titles completely or really cool subtitles.
Yeah, if Destiny 2 is as big of a shift as Halo 2 was to Halo, then we might be in for a surprise or a real treat.
One of my favorite switch-ups in movie titles is so simple, but I think it's so cool how there's Alien and then there's Aliens. I think that's the coolest sequel name ever.
Yeah,
that's
awesome. Kind of cool.
So
I wouldn't really work with Destiny, though.
Destinies.
With an S, not even the IES.
Yeah, so... But yeah, that's another great example, Jacob. The only other one
what if there's space combat?
Well, yeah, we've speculated. I will say we've done this before. I mean, we could do it again when it gets closer to.
Sorry, I'm just thinking about Destiny lately. That's all I want to talk about.
I get that. A lot of people are. I mean, myself included. Last night I was having this moral debate with myself. Should I be playing Destiny or Deus Ex right now?
Hey, you had some games to finish though.
I did.
You needed to knock out.
I made the mature decision. So, as far as completing the games I started, got to finish what I start.
That's true.
But we have done a very extensive Destiny 2 discussion in the past.
That was a while ago.
I don't even know if it's worth mentioning because it's archived on our YouTube channel.
I think
obviously.
was it 2 years ago?
It was a while ago, yeah. It's back. I don't think we had our 3 mics yet. This is so funny. If you guys didn't know this, our old podcast was so stupid. We had one microphone and we all just kind of huddled up in front of it so you could kind of hear us.
A circular table with stools.
Yeah, and it's a crappy, probably very terrible to listen to, but I do genuinely think that our ideas I recall discussing on that podcast were solid, and it was an enjoyable discussion. So if you have any interest, I ripped his arm off finally.
Garrett, what is wrong with you?
I just don't like the arrow. He's pissing me off, so I ripped his arm off.
Your show sucks now.
You don't get to keep your arm.
You'll no longer save this city.
Yeah. That's one of my favorite catchphrases of memes and stuff is "you have failed this city." It's so good. So sorry, Arrow. There you go. Thank you, Jacob.
I'm just gonna put him over here.
Destiny 2. But if you have any interest in hearing our in-depth discussion of what we'd love to see in Destiny 2, some of it unrealistic, some of it possible, then you can go to our YouTube channel in our podcast playlist and find it there.
You can do that.
But when we get closer to release of Destiny 2, I'm sure we'll do a very similar discussion again, just based on rumors that we hear and facts that are confirmed and stuff as we move on. But from Ubisoft, this is just another big one. Last original one that came across my mind was For Honor. It's pretty original.
That's pretty original.
Very unique in its own way, in the fact that I've always imagined when playing any game like Assassin's Creed, for example, when I'm fighting a bunch of guys, it'd be cool if we had a system, especially in multiplayer, where it's a very tactical sword fighting or melee weapon type game where you have to react based on a certain attack.
And block attacks and stuff. I think there's been games like this, but I don't know if they've been on this scale, if you know what I mean, this high quality. I don't know though.
Yeah, I don't know for sure either.
Me personally, I've never heard of a game like this, but there's loads of games out there. The PC market's huge, and I don't play any PC games.
Totally.
Or even know about them. So
yeah, and I did confirm. Remember, I was confused. I think last week or the week before, I was like, "Is it coming to consoles?" It is. It's coming to PC, PS4, and Xbox One. Because for some reason, I was confused.
Ubisoft doesn't release games just on PC.
That's what I was thinking. I don't know why I got that impression, but for some reason, I was confused about that. But
they're no Blizzard.
No. But yeah, I'm excited about For Honor as well. I'm going to give it a try for sure. I've seen a ton of gameplay, and I think it looks fun, and it's different. So that's the thing. If people are going to make original titles, we have to at least support them, so that way they continue to make original titles. Otherwise, we'll end up like the movie situation we're in, where nearly everything's a sequel. Or a universe of some sort.
That's the thing, though. Movies, almost everything has been taken, unless you just make something way out there.
Yeah.
So it's hard now.
One movie in particular that in recent history that I always jump back to is It Follows, the horror movie. Not a perfect movie, but a great movie. A very interesting idea. And I suggest that movie for sure. I actually rewatched a good chunk of it on TV the other night when I got home from work. And I was just reminded of how good that movie is. It's just very entertaining. Great original idea, too. I suggest it if you have the time to watch it.
Is it scary?
It is pretty scary. That's the thing. It's a creepy... When you're watching it, it's not as creepy, but when you think about the concept, it's pretty disturbing of the movie. But I really enjoyed that one. That's just one example of... I'm sure there's a few. Don't Breathe. I know I'm going back to horror movies, but I think Don't Breathe was a great original idea for a horror movie. I know there's plenty of movies where people get locked in a house and they're trapped with a psychopath inside, but the fact that you were watching from the perspective of the burglars go through this experience, the way that the story all tied together in the end just really took me off guard, and I was impressed by that.
Everything but the end I liked in that movie.
The very last minute and a half I could have done without, but everything up until that point was great to me.
Yeah.
But I mean, there are the gems of originality in all mediums, but obviously the reason why we have like our sequel goggles on and remaster goggles, because we see them so much that to pick out the originality and everything, it can be difficult these days. But it is still prevalent. So I don't think originality is dead. It's just not as prevalent as it normally has been in the past. But yeah, I mean, I think, like we said, oh yeah, another thing I was going to mention, the bulk of originality is probably in indie titles. I mean, think about it. I mean, there's been sequels to indie titles before, but just especially nowadays, all you see is just some good, some bad, but all original ideas that I've never heard of. No Man's Sky, exactly.
I do not like that.
Now, I think someone, unless I forgot the question, please, let me jump on Twitter real quick. Maybe it was on Twitter. Someone sent us a question regarding Sean Murray.
Murray.
I think I forgot to include. Holy crap, we have a ton of notifications. Oh, okay, I have some new ones. Holy crap.
Yeah, we're trying to do a podcast, man.
Sorry, man. 1 sec.
Are you looking at our YouTube channel?
Okay. No, it's our Twitter. Sorry. I don't want to miss it because I'd feel really bad. Maybe it was somewhere else. Oh, it was an email. That's what it was, an email. This is perfect to plug in right now. 1 sec.
Garrett, I need a potty.
Do you?
Yes.
Don't leave me at the table by myself. We're almost done.
Well, let's go. Let's hurry up.
Okay. Blah, blah, blah,
My bladder's got a mind of its own, and I drink 2 waters. So
okay, we'll jump into this in the community questions. I just don't want to forget about that because I'm confused. I'm all thrown off because I'm having to use my phone tonight.
Don't leave me here alone.
My iPad's dead. But this is an indie game that I came across randomly on Polygon when I was skimming news this week that really intrigued me. I think
stop picking up this pen.
Yeah, sorry. I got to quit ripping his arm off. You got to quit clicking the pen. We have so many toys around us that are so tempting. But the reason me bringing up indie titles being original is because that's where I feel like originality is most prevalent these days, at least in the games industry. So that being said, this one sounds really cool to me. This is just a random as an example of the originality that we can see in indie games. It's called Hello Neighbor. It says indie team Tiny Build, best known for games like Cluster Truck and Punch Club, announced
Cluster Truck.
Yeah, that's fun to say. And Punch Club announced its latest project today, Hello Neighbor, a game that plays right into your suburban paranoia. Based on its debut trailer, Hello Neighbor looks like a Hitchcockian nightmare. The point of the stealth game is similar to the plot of Rear Window, where the player investigates their suspicious next-door neighbor's house while they're not home. At least they think they're not home. As they move through the house to uncover the dark secrets likely hiding in the basement, the player quickly learns they're not alone after all. The publisher said that the game uses an advanced, iterative AI system with the creepy neighbor anticipating the player's break-in attempts. He'll set traps to stop the player in their tracks, and if he finds them, expect the anxiety level to ramp up real quick. If they're caught, the player will find their neighbor isn't so friendly. We won't spoil what happens, and neither will Tiny Build, but the end of the trailer teases that Hello Neighbor has some disturbing consequences when the home invader fails to escape unseen, because it's due out in 2017. That description sounds so cool to me. The fact that you're, something's going on in my neighbor's house. I need to go check it out. You walk in there, and it's just really creepy, and the traps are in there. You don't know where where your neighbor is. He's somewhere in the house, and he's gonna kill you if he spots you. And that just sounds really fun to me.
It does.
So
another original game, Pokemon Go, and its successor, or not successor, the predecessor. What game was that?
I forgot the name. At this point,
same company that made it. Niantic,
yeah.
That's a unique game.
It is, yeah.
Is it a great game? Maybe,
right.
Maybe not. But it's a new idea.
It's funny how no one talks about it anymore.
Yeah. For what I know, it's, people still play it a lot, but a lot less people play it, I would believe. Which is bound to happen with anything that blows up.
The most fun I had with it was when we went to Orlando to Universal and Islands of Adventure and caught Pokemon all day long.
Ever since then, I've probably opened it up like maybe 5 times.
It was a great game to play while in line for the rides because we just sit there catching Pokemon.
If you're busy a lot though, and you work a lot, and you're not gonna play it.
I have no time.
You gotta have time to burn.
Yeah. Between here and where I work, there's 2 Pokestops.
Yeah. And there's other things I want to play instead of walk around with my phone. So.
And
you don't really play anything. You just collect.
Right. But
yeah, I don't think Originality is dying. Maybe he asked this question because maybe he's not getting new ideas in games he likes to play.
That, or I think he
or maybe just pointing out that there's a lot of remasters.
Yeah, Sam, I trust you will let us know your thoughts on the subject, and he may even be coming from the mindset that maybe not Originality itself is dying, but its relevance is dying. Like obviously we don't see it as much. Maybe its popularity is dying, but obviously there will always be original ideas. And in a sense, a lot of people say Originality doesn't exist. A lot of people say that something is always inspired by something else, which is probably true.
It had to exist at some point, if that's the case.
And think about it, as mankind continues to live,
that's part of being human, is taking ideas that we've already created and improving them.
And think about it, the longer we exist, the harder it is to come up with new things.
Yeah.
So,
especially with the digital age now, like people are making stuff left and right, and soon there's going to be nothing.
Yeah.
That's why we got to go out to space. We got to explore, find new ideas.
Totally. And that's the thing that's fun about inspiration too. I mean, you can take an inspiration and make something radically different that is inspired by something else, but the fun thing about inspiration is seeing something that you love and doing your own version of it as well. For example, the Chasing Twins band I'm in with Zach, it's heavily inspired by Blink-182 and Sum 41 for a reason, because we like that music and we're like, let's put our spin on it.
Great bands.
Exactly. So, I mean, I can get why things are inspired by other things, but like we said, I think we've agreed our thoughts are Originality certainly isn't dead, but it's just not as prevalent as it has been in the past. So that's the thing. We still have our gyms coming, plenty of great exclusives on both Xbox One and PS4 for all of us console owners, console peasants, I should say. So exciting time to be a gamer nonetheless.
I mean, there's infinite possibilities for anything, so we're never gonna do everything that we can do. There's always gonna be something that we never do. So
yeah,
they're just gonna be far harder to think of.
Yeah, even the sequels we have coming, I'm excited about. Yeah. I don't complain about any of it. So now a sequel to No Man's Sky, I think is necessary.
No,
or just a radical evolution if that game ever.
I have no desire to play that game anymore.
If it changed,
even if it's a sequel,
if it changed drastically with features that we had all hoped for, then maybe.
Even then, like, I just don't want to play.
We're going to talk about that just briefly based on a community question soon. But I'm going to jump into the first 2. We are in our community question segment of the podcast. Welcome. We don't have a cool little jingle or catchphrase going into this segment
This is
yet.
for you guys.
Yeah, but it exists. And as we've stated multiple times, if you're listening for the first time, if you're listening for the 10th time, the 100th time, you couldn't be listening for the 100th time because we only have 70 episodes. If you're listening for the 70th time, then just know that this is our favorite.
It's crazy we have 70 podcasts.
It's amazing. We'll talk about it at the end. There's something I want to say about that.
Okay.
But the fact that we get to talk to you guys directly, whether it be on PlayStation or Xbox or through our email at itsobviousgaming@gmail.com, Twitter with the hashtag AskIOG, or on Facebook or anywhere for that matter, the fact that we can talk with you directly is really awesome for us, and we love getting to know you and meeting all of you, especially for you Spotify, iTunes, and wherever else you are users. If you're not already on YouTube, at least join us and subscribe just to say hello, introduce yourself. We'd like to get to know you, and just so we can know who we're communicating with and stuff. It's just fun to get to know you guys, so please do so. That being said, we'll jump into the first question from, this is a Twitter handle, Spicy Boy.
Ooh.
Spicy Boy.
Spicy Boy.
Boy. With the hashtag AskIOG, he says, the impact of esports on current and future games and their design. It's kind of hard to answer this because I don't keep up with esports. I've always loved the idea of esports. I think it's so cool, the fact that you can have professional gaming teams.
What's the question again?
Here, I'll let you read it. Just the impact of esports on game design and stuff nowadays.
It's obviously a big part of games now because people love watching other people play games, like i.e. Twitch and YouTube now.
Let's Play Live is a thing as well.
Exactly. Like games like League of Legends and Dota 2 are, they're built to be watched live, and the esports are built around around MOBAs in particular. I've always appreciated esports. I don't watch them a lot just because, they usually take place on the weekends and they take a whole day. It's like watching the Masters on the weekend. Like you watch the whole tournament and it takes up the whole weekend. But I've always appreciated, I always thought it'd be really cool to participate in esports, like be a professional Call of Duty player. Like it'd be so cool.
It's so cool.
You make a living playing a game
professionally and getting paid,
and you're good, and like people want to look up to you and they want to be like you. That's so awesome. It's like being a
professional athlete. Yeah.
It's like, obviously I'm not nearly that good at anything to be anything like that.
Yeah.
But I've always appreciated the esports. And Destiny, going back to Destiny again, they put in private matches now, so esports are finally going to build in that game, which is important, I think, because that's something Destiny has always lacked. Like all the great players, they stray away from it because there's no way to set up tournaments or anything. So
as far as design is concerned with the impact of esports, I think
it's important for multiplayer games, obviously.
I was going to say, I think it's had a great impact on multiplayer games because a lot of developers that design shooters and such, even sports games, keep nowadays, especially esports, in the back of their mind, thinking like, man, if we can get this on tournament circuits and stuff, then obviously it'll be very relevant because it'll be played often by professionals and stuff. But
another impact, sorry to interrupt you.
No, it's fine.
But I want to get my thought out.
Go for it.
Esports are finally entering television. ESPN last year, I think they had Heroes of the Dorm, which was a little play on words with their Blizzard's game Heroes of the Storm, which is all their characters from all their games in a MOBA, which is really cool. Yeah. And they had that on live TV and had a tournament.
That is cool.
I know there's other games that are on TV. I'm pretty sure Counter-Strike 2 was on TV recently, or Counter-Strike Go, whatever it's called. And there's been other examples like League of Legends and stuff. But, television companies and, these big corporations are taking notice of like how many viewers and how many people want to see this stuff. And they're putting it on TV now. Like ESPN, there's several other companies. But yeah, it's pretty exciting to see video games being played competitively on TV, just like a sport would be played.
Totally. Yeah, I love that stuff. I would totally go to, if there was one in Atlanta, like we're going to have a Halo Pro tournament. And the, what's that convention center called in Atlanta?
The Phillips Arena?
No, I forgot the name of it. But
convention center.
There is a convention center in Atlanta that hold a lot of stuff. But if they had one there, I'd be like, heck yeah, I'm going to go to that. That'd be awesome because it's a short drive to watch pros play Halo live. I think it'd be really cool.
I think there was an Overwatch tournament here recently, actually.
Really?
Yeah, I think it was a small thing.
That'd be another fun one to go to. Yeah. Be awesome.
Unfortunately, Georgia's doesn't have a lot of video game attraction as far as like the big conferences.
No.
E3 was here for a short period.
Was it?
Yeah.
When?
It was when we were younger. It was in the either early 2000s or 90s.
E3 was in
I think it was in the early 2000s.
I've never heard that before.
Yeah, it was here for like 1 or 2 years.
Interesting. Man, that'd be so cool.
Yeah.
But I can't contribute a whole lot to where he asked like the future, how the impact of current and future games on the design. I think what I can add to that is that, like I was saying, but going back to the design, is the fact that games or developers are more than ever encouraged for balance in their multiplayer games, as far as all the weapons and the design and the mechanics and stuff,
updates and stuff like that.
So they definitely, I mean, obviously balance is crucial in a multiplayer game, even without esports in mind.
Just keep people happy.
But this especially if they know that pros are going to be playing them. And what was great about Halo 5 is that they had a lot of pros on their development team helping them design and make key decisions. And that's why I think Halo 5's multiplayer is so good, is that Halo 3, 2 and 3 I loved. Halo 4 was
I've got to stop grabbing that pen.
Yeah. Halo 4 was fine, but I think Halo 5 is the best multiplayer, obviously, since Halo 3, and I still really enjoy that when I do play it. And I think a key component of that was having the pros help them make those big decisions as to the balance of certain weapons and the map design and stuff. So I think that esports in that sense has had a huge impact on multiplayer experiences. Now, as far as campaign-driven games, I don't think it really has an impact at all. Like, who can play through the campaign the fastest? I know speedruns are sort of a thing.
They're not meant to be competitive, you know. That's the whole mindset behind an esport.
Right.
It's a sport, but it's video games.
Mm-hmm.
So
I wonder...
Sports are competitive.
It'd be interesting to see a speed run. I think they did something similar to this. I think
that is one way that narrative games can be competitive, is
speed runs. I was going to say, like, shorter games. I know they did something like this with Mario Maker. Maybe it was before E3 last year, where a bunch of kids were speeding through levels who could do it the fastest. Yeah. And stuff like that I think is pretty cool for shorter games, like a speed run.
Yeah, I know there's like some event every year where these group of people speed run through tons of games, like Legend of Zelda or Mario, the original Mario, just stuff like that, which is really cool.
Yeah. But my final thoughts on as far as esports are concerned is I think esports are awesome. I wish I was a professional gamer. That'd be so cool. But I lack the skill, obviously. Yeah. But
I think the future is perhaps we'll have maybe a video game television network that just shows esports and maybe covers it like ESPN does, like just has a panel of people at a desk and they just cover it like sports.
Yeah, it'd be so cool.
That'd be cool.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
I would tune into that.
Like, I know they do stuff similar to that already, but like to watch a live event and then immediately a cut to like, kind of like how they discuss like at halftime of a football game, they discuss like, oh, so-and-so could be doing this better, this, but cut to that and have a discussion about it.
I think even more likely is that probably Fox or ESPN will have either a channel or shows that will be completely dedicated to that. Because ESPN is getting into the boat early, and they've had several like showings of esports.
Yeah, it's so cool, dude. It's a great age to be a gamer in, for sure. It's just awesome.
Lots of great games. They look nice.
Yeah, all we care about is graphics.
Time to be alive.
Keep that in mind.
Yeah, that's why you're getting the pro.
Yeah, that's all I care about is the graphics. Thank you, Spicy Boy, for your question. I really enjoyed discussing that. Next one from Sizu Mizu. Actually, I already think I asked this one. Yeah, the platforming one. Yeah. Thank you, Sizu. The other ones are on Twitter still because they came to me actually in the middle of doing this podcast, which I'm glad I caught them.
So that was it originally?
Yeah, it was originally. Regular communication, main topic, whatever. Okay, this is from our good friend Edgar on Twitter with the hashtag AskIOG. Regular community question.
I wonder how like the viewers feel when we like ask their questions. They're like, "Oh, this is me." Like, it's got to be cool. Like, even though we don't get that many views, just to hear like your question being asked, it's got to be kind of cool.
I would love that. I've never sent in a community question anywhere else, but that'd be fun. Just because
it's like to know that you're contributing. I mean, like, I know we don't get nearly as many views as we'd like, but it's just cool, like that people notice that I'm asking stuff.
No, that's cool because I love, even if we didn't do this podcast, these are questions I like to hear because they're great questions. Like, even just to think about them is fun. So the fact that you guys contribute to this conversation is very, not only beneficial to us, but we really enjoy it because it adds more to the conversation. Yeah. And gives us an insight of your thoughts on the games industry as well. So thank you to all of you who do this. We love it.
Thank you very much.
He says, name an under-the-radar game that you think is a must-play. I'm trying to think of one. I know there's got to be one. Man, it's hard. An under-the-radar game. This isn't under the radar, but one I really, really want to play is, I still want to play, what's it called? Oh my gosh, I can't remember. It came on Xbox One first. A month later, it was on PS4. It's the game that's a lot like, what's...
Inside?
Inside, that's what it is. That's not really under the radar now because it's so well-renowned, but I want to play that. this is also not under the radar, but maybe people aren't excited about it. But XCOM 2 did just come out for PlayStation 4, which is so funny. I'm still going to play it because I genuinely am interested in playing it. But I went on to PSN last night. For some idiotic reason, I thought it was going to be like $20 or $30 for some, because it was like a port or whatever. But when I got on there, it was $60. I was like, $60? I wasn't mad. I was just shocked because like I had the mindset that it was going to be cheaper. So I can't play it yet because I'm going to be buying Gears next week, and there's a couple other things that I want to play with. Not just myself, but I want to play with friends from the community as well, like Titanfall 2 and Call of Duty and all that. But I also want to buy, and I have to pick and choose wisely because I'm paying for school, like I mentioned. So I'm going to hold off on XCOM 2. That may be considered under the radar. I mean, people have told me that that's a must play before, and I didn't even look into it until after we had brought it up on that one podcast, and I'm excited to play that at some point. But
I'm blanking for the most part.
Me too. It's hard.
I mentioned Valiant Hearts earlier. If you haven't played that game at this point, I feel like it deserves your. It's really cheap now too.
Right.
So you should play that game. It's really good.
This is a great opportunity for everyone tuning in. That if you're, whether you're on YouTube or you haven't joined us on YouTube yet, please hop on over here and let us know any under the radar games that you think we should be playing for sure, because sometimes it's hard to keep up with everything.
Under the radar as in people don't know about it.
Yeah, like something you may know about that you're really confident in being great. Just be like, hey, you guys should totally keep an eye out for this. Please let us know. I'd love to hear that stuff, especially from you, Edgar, since you asked the question. I want to know what you have in mind that's considered under the radar as well.
What about...
oh, here it is. He added to this.
What was that game that came out on launch with PS4? It was a digital game. Resogun.
Oh, that's a great one.
I know a lot of people know about that game, but if you haven't played that, that's like a must play.
Yeah, it's still awesome. Yeah, he added, this is a great example. He said, for example, mine would be Soma, 2015 PS4. Even Doom could fit into that category.
I don't know about Doom. People know about Doom.
Yeah. It didn't sell like exponentially, I don't think, but everyone who played it loved
pretty
it.
Well. Did it sell the most that month?
Maybe.
It came out in May, right?
Yeah, yes.
With Overwatch. Mm-hmm. So I think Overwatch might have beat it. Yeah. Or maybe Doom did. I don't know.
I think Overwatch probably killed it.
I think they were 1 and 2. But Doom sold a lot, so I don't know if that's under the radar. But
I love Doom.
A lot of people may not, give it a chance like I did.
Yeah.
Didn't. So
yeah, I'm sure there's plenty of people that didn't play it because of Overwatch and other titles. And there was something else that came out that month that's pretty big too. Mirror's Edge came out beginning of June. There's something else in May, I can't remember. But Preston and I both platinum Doomed, loved it. I know Edgar liked Doom too.
I can't think of it.
Soma is definitely under the radar that Edgar and I have talked about multiple times, I think. And I've talked about with other people as well. That is that the space game? It's in space, isn't it? Yeah. Uh-huh. Now it's either Soma or that other space game that's from the Fulbright company who made Gone Home. I can't remember which one it is. I think it's Soma. You can correct me if I'm wrong. I apologize.
I can't.
But Soma's a great example. I'm still interested in playing that as well.
What else is that what he added?
Yeah, but again, just to say it again, anyone from the community, if there's any under the radar games that we've left out, please let us know. And
tell us why you like it and why it's under the radar.
Totally.
I guess.
I am truly interested. Now, here's the last question of the week. This is a pretty good one. This comes from Evan with the email.
Evan Capolino?
No. But I can't. Now, please forgive me, Evan. I can't pronounce your last name. I'm going to butcher it, but I'm going to attempt. Evan Savincic, maybe? You want to try to attempt it? You gonna try or no?
No.
Okay. Please forgive us, Evan.
Tell us how to say your name.
It's a way cooler last name than my own. I'm interested to know your nationality. But it says, hey lads, have you heard or had a chance to play Everspace? It's one of my favorite games at the moment. I highly recommend it. If you're hard pressed for time, it's kind of a roguelike No Man's Sky without being able to leave your ship on a small scale, but significantly more fun. Speaking of No Man's Sky, actually we'll jump into that second chunk next, but that's another great example. This is under the radar. I haven't heard of it. Everspace.
What platform is it on? Let us know.
Yeah, I guess we can look it up after this, but
yeah,
this is one of his favorite games of the moment. Highly recommends it. If you're hard pressed for time, it's kind of a roguelike No Man's Sky without being able to leave your ship and on a small scale, but significantly more fun. So
I'm about that.
Yeah, totally. But that's cool. See, Everspace, that kind of ties into Edgar's question. That's under the radar that I don't know about, and that sounds cool already. So I'm definitely going to look into that. Thank you for suggesting it, Evan. He says, speaking of No Man's Sky, what are your thoughts on recent news about Sean Murray being investigated for fraud? Do you think the charges should be made?
Yes.
You do?
I think it was falsely advertised.
Okay.
At some points, especially when he was talking about it. He got people's hopes up. I don't know if that was the advertising they're talking about, but
I can see why he's
it's only in Europe that he's being charged. It's just European advertising.
Okay.
So
now
I don't know what they showed there, what they told people. I didn't look into the story that much, so maybe you know more than I do.
I can see both sides of the story and why they
I'm just frustrated with them. So maybe my opinion's not relevant.
Maybe. I don't know, but I think it's kind of funny in a sense that he's under investigation for fraud over a video game, but I can understand why people pushing for this are pushing for it, in the sense that, man, I feel like a lot of it's personal responsibility as well. Yes, the guy, it's a fact he lied about a lot of things, but at the same time, I mean, you can... I don't know.
Is it a fact?
I don't know if you could.
Maybe he intended to do that, but they just didn't make it in time.
Maybe. I don't know. It's a really complicated subject, because I went in there with the expectations of it being exactly what it is. That's why I was not disappointed. I knew my $60 probably wouldn't be justified, but my impressions of it, not impressions, my expectations would be justified, because it's exactly what I expected it to be. So
I just expected it to be, not the same thing over and over again. That's what made me upset. It's like, yeah, there's new planets and like new colors and everything, but everything's the same.
Yeah,
like, the aliens are the same. The whatever, the huts are the same.
Mm-hmm.
You're getting the same materials every planet. Like,
yeah,
come on.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, I know it's impossible to make a game on that scale with that infinite possibilities, but
one can dream.
Yeah, my expectations were too much, I guess.
No, I think it's unfair
for a team that small.
Yeah, I think it's unfair for me to say that, people should be more informed, when in this sense that arguably people were informed based on what he was saying about it. Like, you can do this, you can do this, you can this. And if people went in expecting what he said to be true, then that's why I can see why people were very upset about it. Now, I didn't believe half the stuff he was saying. I don't know, maybe I just don't trust the guy. But just looking at the demos that came out shortly before release, not demos from Hello Games, but demos that IGN was doing and GameSpot was doing, just them playing the game, I could tell already this is going to be exactly what I'm expecting it to be. And it was. So that's why I wasn't upset, but I can understand why people that didn't see those things and were purely going in based on what Sean Murray said, I can see why them spending that money would be justified to be like, he should be investigated for fraud, I lost all this money. I get that. I can't even really argue against it. I can understand why. I don't care either, because it's a video game, whatever. I mean, the guy was a little dishonest.
Lock him up!
The guy was a little dishonest. I think what's the best phrase to use like this? To douse the flames a bit. How about that? To bring down that level just a wee bit. Just at least either just do one of two things.
A slight simmer.
Yeah.
A little ember.
Either release a written statement explaining the situation, because he's yet to respond to anything since the game's release, or make a short video just being totally real with people.
That's true. Why are they being so quiet?
It's kind of weird. That's
like,
why
what is going on?
I think that's why this is built up so much, is because they're just staying silent. They at least want people to be like, they want them to say, at the very least, sorry.
Are they even going to update the game? Like, what are they doing?
I don't know, but
it's been how many months now?
It's been a while. But that's the thing.
I know they released a patch recently, right? Where they fix maybe the performance or something, but I don't know.
I don't really care.
I have to look into it. I don't either. So
that's why I don't care what happens with the game. They just, for their sake, need to do either a written statement or a video just explaining the situation, apologizing to fans. Obviously, apologies can't always be justified, but at least say why you're sorry and explain why the game is what it is, and tell them any potential improvements you're striving to make for the game, or tell them plans you have for a sequel or plans that you have to bring to the game down the road that are in development currently. I don't know. I'm sure maybe after all this time, they're just trying to figure out exactly how to address the situation. But I think the whole fraud thing's funny. I get why on both sides of the story, people would say why it should or shouldn't be a thing.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I mean, I don't think he should be charged for anything. It sucks. I think punishment alone, not even punishment, I think punishment is a stupid word, but criticism alone of just him being considered a liar and promoting a false game and stuff, that having to deal with that alone sucks. So to be then financially charged after that or whatever, it would just blow big time.
Yeah.
So I think I don't think the man deserves anything. I mean, I don't have anything against him. It's whatever. But for those people that feel like he deserves to be punished in some way. I think just the criticism alone has probably been enough for him.
I mean, you gotta understand he was trying to sell his game.
Yeah.
So he's just
Sony was promoting the crap out of it and stuff.
He's working. He's making a living for. I don't know if he has a family or not, but he's got to make money. So he's got to get people excited to buy his product that he's making.
Yeah. And we don't know the full story, but it could have just turned into a beast that he wasn't expecting. He probably expected we're just going to release this game. That's going to be it. But Sony was just promoting the crap out of it, and maybe it kind of been out of his hands. It just kind of went. The water rose above his head, and he had to just go and take it the way it was. So. Yep. I don't know. But yeah, I don't think he should be charged. But excellent question from Evan. Thank you for sending it to us. Yep. But yeah, Jacob, that about wraps it up for episode 70 of this podcast. 70 weeks of podcasting. It's been a wild ride so far.
Yes. I can't stop yawning. Yeah, I'm not even tired. I guess I am kind of tired. I stayed up late last night finishing that raid. So yeah, and I woke up at 10:30, so I didn't get that much sleep.
Oh wow. Okay.
Considering I usually get about 8 to 9 hours, I only got like a couple 6.
I got slightly over my average. I think I got about 6 today.
Oh,
so it's usually 4 or 5 for me.
Terrible.
4 or 5 max usually, but yeah,
you've got to fix that. I know you just don't have time to do
It'll probably be the
anything,
death of me if I'm being honest, but at least I'd be dying for something I enjoy, which is this YouTube channel. So, also not a big fan of sleeping unless I'm super tired, but
the act of going to sleep sucks.
Yeah, I think we've said that before.
Once you're asleep and like you wake up, you're like, I wish I could just sleep forever.
I know. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, 70 weeks, man. It's been awesome. Yeah. One day we'll hit 130 weeks from now, which sounds like forever, but
that'll be next year sometime, right? Yeah, I think so. Yeah, definitely.
Should be. What episode? I don't know.
There's only 4 weeks in every month, and there's only 3 months left.
Yeah, I don't know what episode we started on with this year, the turn of the year, so I'm not sure.
It'll be like spring next year, I think.
Oh, yeah, you're right. We'll totally hit 100 because there's 52 weeks in a year.
There's only like 9 or 10 more weeks this year, so...
Yeah.
That's crazy. This year's it's coming to a close already.
Yeah. I will say, I know we say it all the time, but thank you again to each and every one of you who tune in and express your support for the show. It means a lot to us, and it gets us pumped to continue on because it's certainly not easy. It's a miracle that we can pull this off every week, but we love doing it, and we love talking to you guys. And the fact that you've shown us support and expressed your admiration for the show has been great. It's really kept us going. I don't know if that's the thing. I've always wanted to continue this regardless of the support because I love doing it so much. But the fact that you guys have supported us has helped us push forward because there was a time where we didn't hear from anyone for months. And
Probably about a year ago this time. We didn't have any comments or anything.
Nothing. We didn't hear from anyone, but we still just enjoyed getting together to talk, which is what we wanted to do in the beginning. But we always wanted to be able to hear from all of you around the world. And the fact that that's beginning is just so exciting for us. And we look forward to it growing because we want to just have this big community where we can all just revel in all the things we enjoy and talk about it and stuff. But as I said, for the sake of Let's Plays, I know this channel's still going to evolve a bit as time goes on. We're still kind of discussing ideas and stuff. But instead of just trying to crank out a bunch of Let's Plays, let's just play games together. I think that's a lot more fun anyway. So if there's anything specific you guys want to play, I've mentioned several times, obviously Destiny's a big thing right now. Gears 4 is coming next week. Next week, I'll be on Gears 4 a good bit.
Gears coming out next week.
As of when this podcast goes up, yeah. It'll be October 11th. That's when it comes out.
When does Mafia come out?
It comes out... Does that come out this week? No.
I don't think so.
Does it come out the following week?
I think it's the next one. Is it the same week as Gears?
Maybe it is. I can't
remember.
Look
it up right now. We gotta know.
One sec. But
I don't even have it pre-ordered.
I'll be on Call of Duty and Titanfall. Mostly multiplayer stuff is what you'll find me on. But
what you'll find me on this fall is Call of Duty, Battlefield.
To play any game with the community, it'll have to be a multiplayer game. But you get what I mean. Mafia 3 release date. Can't remember. I know it's at the beginning. October 7th. That's this week, isn't it? Or is it the beginning of next week?
I think that's next week. Today's the 1st. So.
October 11th is a Friday, I think.
Is the 7th a Friday?
Because Monday is the 3rd. And then the 7th, I'm so bad with math and days.
Where's your calendar? Here it is.
You find it?
11th is not this Tuesday, but the next one.
Okay.
So in Gears is the 7th?
Yeah. No. Gears is the 11th. Mafia 3 is the 7th.
Mafia 3 is coming out next Friday.
It comes out, this week. That's awesome. Yeah. Dude. Wow. I'm pumped. That's what I'm totally doing this weekend.
That.
Why not?
On a Friday?
I love Friday releases. I love Friday releases. That's when Gears 2 came out on a Friday. I told the story. I was so pumped to go home and play it all weekend.
That's gonna be, I'm excited. I can't believe that's coming out this week.
Oh, that's great.
Wow.
I'm going to drain my bank account for those 2 games. But yeah, Gears 4 I'll be on for all of you Xbox owners for sure. Let's fight the swarm. But yeah, it's been great, Jacob.
It's going to be a good week of games.
It is. I'm very excited. And we'll crank out at least just for the sake of it. And if you guys don't plan on picking up those games, we'll do a Let's Play of Gears and Mafia for sure.
Yeah, this week, this goes live. It'll be the beginning of the game release chaos.
The craziest month of the year in games for sure. So we look forward to playing those games with you guys and talking about them in the coming weeks. So thank you so very much for joining us. And we'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments down below of anything we've discussed this week.
Yeah, thanks for sticking with us for 2+ hours today.
Absolutely. It was great, Jacob. Thank you for being here as well.
Yeah, thank you for being here in your nice hoodie.
Yeah, you're welcome.
I don't know how you're breathing right now.
It's not as bad now. When we first started, it was kind of rough. But I think
I'm still very moist.
No, I'm sorry, Jacob.
I get hot easy. And I sweat a ton.
Okay.
So.
Well, you look beautiful.
You should see me when I'm at the gym, like after I get done doing cardio. I'm like soaked and I'm like dripping everywhere.
Nice.
It's disgusting.
Sounds awesome.
Yeah.
Well, Jacob, again, thank you. Thank you to everyone who joined us. This was episode 70 of the It's Obvious podcast. If you enjoyed it, please give it a like. Subscribe for more. What I got to plug, I always forget because Preston does it. Oh, yeah. Please give us a rating on iTunes. Imagine if 4 or 5 of you took 2 to 3 minutes to... took 3 hours. Imagine. Took 2 to 3 minutes just to do a quick review of our podcast on iTunes.
Or just leave a 5-star rating.
If you're willing,
don't even have to write anything.
I don't know if you have to write anything, but if you can, either give it a star rating or you can just say something simple like cool or something. I think iTunes accepts like 1 word if you want to.
I don't even know if anyone listens to us on iTunes.
Yeah, I don't know. If you do listen on iTunes, I'd be interested in hearing.
Yeah, please tell us.
Because when we got on iTunes, we're like, wow, we've really made it. Now we're on iTunes, but Spotify has been way bigger.
Oh yeah,
which is
Spotify
cool.
was huge.
Yeah, so thank you to all you Spotify listeners who tune in. But if any of you are bored, if you're like taking a dump and you're like, hey, I got nothing to look at right now, I can do a quick review on iTunes for the It's Obvious podcast. We'd greatly appreciate that. That'd be awesome. It could grow the community even more potentially. But on iTunes, and obviously it's available on Spotify, Google Play, and Audio Boom, and several other services that I forgot the name of, but we're on there. But yeah.
My shorts are so like crawled up my legs that it looks like I'm wearing shorts.
I bet it's a great view.
Yeah, it's nice.
Cool. Thanks for sharing.
I'm not going to show you.
That's fine.
You also have to take my word for it.
Okay. And keep in mind, we've mentioned several times on this episode alone that YouTube is our home base, youtube.com/itsobviousgaming. Please join us, subscribe, comment on this podcast or any video just saying hey and where you found us. And you don't even have to say that. You can just be like, hey, you guys suck or something if you want. It doesn't have to be a nice comment. Just say hello and let us know you listen because we love hearing from you guys. So yeah, I think I've said that 50 times this podcast. I just can't say it enough, so thank you. But that's it for me, Jake. You got anything else to add?
No, I just need to pee.
That's great. I'm going to go do work now for my job, which I'm not excited about, but you know, it's part of life.
Is that all you're doing today?
After that, I don't think I have anything going on. So I might play some more Batman after that. We'll see.
I forgot we're missing the game right now.
We are. We're probably going to lose to Tennessee.
Probably.
Oh, well.
We'll see.
That's it from us, Jacob.
Yeah, that's it.
You guys have an excellent week. We'll talk to you again soon.
We'll see you next week.
See you. Goodbye.